Live.
Wait, did you miss me? Of course you did. But ladies and gentlemen, this isn't
What?
actually the resident neighborhood prince
What?
of Botch.
What?
Oh my god. Dare
What?
I say
What?
Deadpool?
What? What?
Woo!
What? Oh, Deadpool. Oh, Deadpool. Oh, Deadpool. Oh, Deadpool.
Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to take over what is known as Life's a Botch.
Oh, Deadpool.
It's actually quite simple, really. You can see by the title, this is actually supposed to be a review.
Oh, Deadpool.
But you can't always believe headlines that you read. Why, kids? I'll tell you why. Because this is what you call a takeover. This will be a complete show that is not tolerable for children. So, kids, you might want to go to bed. Or at least
Yeah,
not tell your parents that you're up late watching this.
because
It's
I'm
about
telling
to
you
get
right now, I'm
very,
stoned.
very crucial.
You
That
know.
being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Life's of Botch podcast. I am your resident neighborhood Deadpool. Not to be confused with that guy named Deadpool. I'm actually kind of a fool.
Where
It
are you
happens
going
to
with
be
this?
dead. Well, I'm going a little bit of everywhere because this is a foolish pay-per-view. So therefore, Deadpool had to be broken out for a foolish pay-per-view. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Oh, that's great. That's great. Love to hear it. Unfortunately, I'm also joined by a resident neighborhood oos. And he actually is a familiar. I think you guys have seen him. You might have heard him from a show called Grass Unleashed.
Probably.
You might have actually seen him. I
Yeah.
don't know. He actually has a character.
Yeah.
He has a character his own right.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to actually introduce him. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll actually pass it over to him and actually let him talk it to you.
I got nothing, but this is your Hell in a Cell review with your boy GRES Sage. It's your boy Grass bringing you, well, joining your boy. Highlight, highlight, highlight. One half of the soon to be greatest tag teams of all the time. He has
Oh,
the blue
yes.
belt. I will have a belt never because I don't have the money for it. Anyway, we're
Soon
going
to be. Soon to be.
soon to be. We're going to talk our talk on Hell in a Cell. Keep in mind we have not watched the main event of Hell in a Cell. I'm actually keeping an eye on Twitter to see who won or see if The Miz actually cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. For those who don't know, spoiler alert, The Miz is now Mr. Money in the Bank.
Oh my gosh. Can you
Yeah,
believe it?
there you go.
Are we back in the year 2000? And no, we can't be.
10 years ago, The
This
Miz
is
was the Money in the Bank. Literally the same, around the same time he cashed in on Randy Orton.
you don't say.
It'll be 10 years next month to be exact.
Dare I say history repeats itself? Did you
Yes.
just say Randy Orton?
Yes.
Gosh. Kids, is it possible? Can history repeat itself? I don't think so.
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
WWE surely wouldn't recycle something they've done before now, would
Where
they?
have you been?
That's a good question, my friend. Well, it kind of goes back to unicorns and rainbows and, tacos and burritos and all that good stuff. Oh, yeah, being a merc with a mouth, too. But nonetheless, you're about right. Where have I been? History's repeating itself. Oh, my gosh. I'm trying not to freak out, people. But this is what happens when you do with whack pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Mm.
This was a something pay-per-view. The only match I ever want to talk about is the opening match, which to this very second, I don't understand why it opened, but now I'm kind of glad it opened because it kind of gave me the opportunity to end my watch along mad early.
Whoa, where'd
He
that
could
come
not
from?
breathe. He could not breathe in
Oh,
that
we
mask.
breathe.
He
We
could not breathe. He could not breathe in
had to
that
give him a push.
Deadpool
Hey,
mask.
people, we're back.
He could not
Prince of Botch
breathe.
in the building now. You know what I'm saying?
We are live. We are unpredictable. It is.
There's no telling. That guy could pop back up at any minute. It's very hard to keep him from keeping his mouth shut. Trust me. he can show up at any given moment. Nonetheless, sir, Josh, brother.
Yeah.
Should we just? I mean, let's not even wait. Who cares about the end result of this main event? Let's go ahead and just review what we came here to give the people. A review of all sorts of epic
Proportions, epicness.
We've only had what?
Shotgun Sunday night.
A total of 3 title defenses.
Was it 3?
4 if you count
4?
the 24/7 championship.
Or 5 if you count the U.S. title. Or was that 3?
Yeah, that makes it 3. Let's see. 4. No, 5. 5. That's right. 24. The main event.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Both WWE Universal and Heavyweight, right? So confusing. Those 2. Okay. SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank, I guess.
I guess that's a championship. It can be considered a championship.
Yeah, it was on the line like one, if you want to count that.
And they went crazy with the vacuum that is called the 2K WWE 2K crowd noise.
Oh.
That.
Yes, we are going to talk about that one. Oh boy.
Like, calm that shit down.
Talk about piped, bruh. Sheesh.
Not the piping you want to see. Well, hopefully parents don't kill me for saying that. But the type of piping in that I'm already
Hey.
This is what you're gonna get when I bring back them weekly reviews.
I told y'all, Deadpool tried to warn you. Put the kids to bed. This is gonna not be a very, very, very kid-friendly show.
No. It's supposed to. Why you letting your kids listen to a podcast about hell? We're helling in the selling. Come on now.
There you go. I mean, that's
and apparently the main event is still going on. So
still going on, people, and it is still a snooze fest. Snooze.
And Retribution is you got T-Ball, you got Mace, you got Slapnuts, and you got Mustafa Ali. Yeah. And Retaliation, which is me and you. They're still looking like clowns.
Indeed. I hear crickets.
But yeah. We're just gonna get into the opening match, which is
the opening match.
The Hell in a Cell I Quit match, which kind of converted into a Samoan strap match because they brought the strap out between where Roman Reigns defended the coveted WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion. Let me stop myself. Let me correct myself. He is your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and defending against his little cousin, Jey Uso.
One half
of the Usos.
There you go.
Roman has been inside of Hell in a Cell 3 times. He has won twice. The third time was a draw because of Brock.
Or a no contest.
Contest. Whatever you can call it, whatever you want.
There we go. That's a little more fitting. A no contest. There was no winner.
There was no winner, no loser. But if you want to do Sports Illustrated, they do. It was a draw. And then you have Jey Uso. He has won Hell in a Cell in his track record. He teamed with his brother Jimmy to take on the New Day. In a still to this day one of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen, because I will still watch it back from time to time.
For this on the line. And boy, was it a classic.
It was a classic.
Very creative.
This match was the best, or one of the best, Hell in a Cell I've ever seen in modern history.
Yes.
In my personal opinion. The reason why I say that is because the storytelling was there. Roman, all he wants is to be the head of the table. He's obsessed with being the head of the table. Jimmy and Jey wants to slap the old Roman back. They want their old Uso back, but they don't realize that he needs to do this. He needs to solidify himself as the head of the table, the tribal chief. The sales started off, they were talking trash, having fun, talking all that junk. Jey was like, "You talking about me? I change, you change, Uso." Roman was like, I need to. And he's saying it so calm, like he's not talking. He don't have no attitude. He's just so calm with it. I need to. And then the match picked up, strikes, repeated spears left and right. Roman spearing Jay not quitting, not fighting down. Roman brought back his guillotine choke. They trying to rename it from the guillotine choke. No, do not confuse the crowd. It is the guillotine choke. End of story. Roman, he continued to talk his trash. He had the guillotine choke. This is not even. I'm not even scratching the surface yet. Keep up. Keep in mind, I'm not scratching the surface yet.
Not yet.
Roman had the guillotine choked in, and the referee continued to look like a goof. Jay, I'm here. You want to I quit? I'm quit. Referee Jackie Chan Jr., please shut up. Why do you keep talking?
Why?
Anyway, I'm like, why do you keep talking?
Why are we getting refs to talk and ask these questions now? Whatever happened to the old fashioned, just grab the mic, give it to them and say, do you quit? And they say fun stuff, kind of like The Rock back in the days. Hell no, I don't quit. Candy ass, no. You know, what happened to those days, man? No more. Now we just got refs talking. Do you quit, Jimmy? Do you quit, Roman? He's shaking his head no.
And then you got to get into the commentary. On of what Roman was saying. He said, either you say I quit, or I will take the last breath out of your lungs. You either quit or I. He basically said, I'm gonna kill you if you don't quit. That's basically what he said. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna murk you. I'm gonna murder you. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Do that.
Do it.
Please do that.
Do it.
And then the referee continued to be annoying. Saying, Jay, I'm here. I'm gonna stop this match. That pissed Roman all the way off. Yes. He said, bitch, you ain't stopping shit. Tossed him out the ring. But that was after Roman smashed Jay's skull in between the steel steps when he hit the drive-by. If you don't know what the drive-by is when his opponent is draped on the apron and he jumps halfway across the ring and drives both his boots in between a skull. Thing was beautiful. We was literally witnessing a murder on live WWE Network television. Whoa. That was a murder. He murked him. Roman murked him. And Roman, he did not know how to act. He had his 8-pack popping out. He had his sweat dripping down his back. He had his new gold white teeth. He had his gold. We ain't gonna even speed past the fact that this man it was embracing his inner Thanos. This man had a gold glove on. All he was missing was the Infinity Stones. All he had to do was snap, because he was snapping. I'm telling you, he was snapping.
That's a good observation there. You know, that was kind of a Thanos type of feel. You know, it's actually kind of funny. This whole match had just Marvel implications all over it, didn't it? You had your Roman Reigns inner Thanos feels, you know, I'm the bad guy, but I'm really the good guy.
I'm doing this for our family.
My perspective, you know what I mean? When I do this snap, I'm going to do it for the greater good, you know?
Oh, no, he ain't Seth Rollins.
Universe, you know what I'm saying? Well, hey, no one's Seth Rollins, and that's a good thing. But nonetheless, I'm just saying, Marvel implications, the very Black Panther Wakanda feels to it, getting ready to challenge for the Thrive. You know, who's gonna be the throne? You know, who's gonna be the king?
Remember who you are.
Is this your king? Is this your tribal chief?
Yeah.
Is this him?
Yeah.
This is your tribal chief?
Yeah.
I think not. Oos,
yeah.
This is not your tribal king. Oos. You know, just
Marta.
Yeah. The Samoan NOI family will not challenge today.
No. Marta.
And it's just like, oh, okay, all right, let's go then. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful. Now I can't let you. Hold on, Oos, before you go there. Now I can't have you thinking to the people out there that didn't watch this, make them think this was just a straight up beat down on Jay like the last match. It was not, because just like the last match showed you what he was capable of, showed you that, hey, I'm no slouch. And the man darn near choked out Roman not once, but twice. And had this man almost having you thinking, oh, shoot, hold up, wait a minute. This dude looks legitimately passed out. Is he really going to win this thing?
Oh, yeah, he did choke him into...
Twice?
He choked him with the Samoan, with the strap, because I'm trying to tell you, they was turning this into a low-key a Samoan strap match.
This man, look, man,
they were whipping. They was whipping.
This boy has shown his heart. That heart was laid out once again.
Oh yeah, you can't deny Jey Uso. I'm sorry, I don't care who.
Jey is
I don't care what I don't care what anyone says. This man is solidified as a main eventer.
As a main eventer, listen, I want to tell the people right here, right now. Now, I can only hope. This goes back to what we were talking about before. Now, I know obviously Jimmy is apparently on SmackDown. I mean, it hasn't been official yet, but I'm assuming this means he is drafted to SmackDown. We don't really know yet. I guess we'll see as time goes along here. But when that man's healed up, it'll be interesting to see how things turn out, because with Jey and the way he's been looking, man, you can't deny this man.
Was Jimmy cleared? I think Jimmy
is he?
Because he took some
a brace.
He didn't rock a brace tonight. He didn't rock the brace.
You sure it wasn't under?
It was at Clash of Champions. He rocked the brace at Clash of Champions, but he didn't rock it tonight. He was literally cleared. He was literally walking around like nothing.
Well, Cole seemed to mention,
so he might be cleared.
He mentioned that knee brace. That's why I say sure it probably wasn't underneath there or something. He mentioned something
because he didn't have a knee brace on Friday either. He did not have the knee brace on.
He didn't.
So that's what I'm saying. So he probably forgot to put it on, but
that's possible. Maybe it's a slow kind of process. Maybe it's one of those where he doesn't have to always wear it, but it's still kind of one of those.
Shoot, this man taking a bump and bumping around and selling that guillotine choke, you would have thought his knee would have gave out, but it didn't. He was good.
He was good. I mean, it's going to be interesting when he's all healed up and completely cleared, at least that we know of, officially to the public. It'll be interesting to see. Like, again, I still propose that you should go ahead and split the Usos a little bit. Let them kind of, let's but the only thing is you would need someone like a Roman to kind of help Jimmy get to his own kind of identity, though. That's the only thing, because Roman takes a lot of credit in helping Jey look like this too. I mean, once again, even babyface Roman was very good at putting on a show, but heel Roman just takes it to an entire different level, guys. This was like, man, you are the perfect combination of, like, this is arguably way better than the early Brock Lesnar when he came back in 2012. The whole, like, just coming back and I'm gonna beat up Cena and I'm not gonna do much talking. I'm gonna come when I want to come out and I'm gonna whoop, just the feud with Triple H and all of those, feuds where Brock was looking like MMA Brock, just breaking arms and whatnot. Like, you come any closer and Shawn Michaels' arm gonna be snapped in two, looking like legit. Like, it's kind of giving me those shades of the early Brock before, that got kind of stale over the years, because it was like, all right, same old thing. But when it was fresh to us, like this rejuvenated Brock, this new Brock since the days of, ruthless aggression Brock.
Ruthless aggression.
Like, to see Roman in this style, it's a very enlightening thing. So I'm intrigued to see, can they do some things? I would love to see the Usos get like some little split runs. I mean, we'll talk about that later when we see a tag team that got split up for whatever random reason. But nonetheless, I would in a good way, not a turn the Usos against each other way. But I'd like to. I mean, you see, they already got different looks as it is. Jimmy's got the.
I'm more so keep them as a tag team, but have them pursue singles gold just to switch it up a little bit. There's only so many. It's only so many titles that they can tag titles they can get before it gets repetitive.
Exactly, and that's why I do agree. But I do agree with that in a sense of, I guess, keep them in a tag team kind of way.
Because do what you did with the New Day. You didn't break them up when Kofi was the world champ. Just have one of them go after a singles title, have a run with it for a bit, and then lose the title. Or whatever you want to do, and then just go right back to being a tag team. To give it a space between being tag team champions, because let's be honest with you, at some point when Jimmy is clear, they're gonna win them titles again. So that's what I'm saying. Just give them a break.
And it makes sense also because look at the Bella Twins. I mean, they did it with them. They started them, marketing them as
Oh yeah, they were champions.
Twins. Yeah, so that's why I said it's possible to.
Honestly, anytime between 2009 and 2012 is a blur for like.
trust me, believe me,
it's a
I
blur.
understand you totally because I don't really remember much of their. At that time, I couldn't tell them apart, so I had
The only thing that
forgot
stands
who.
out in 2011 was the summer of Punk, and that was it for CM Punk. That is
Yeah,
it.
Summer Punk, of
So that's
course.
why
That
when you
was
brought up
the
the Bills,
first.
I'm like, oh yeah, they were champions.
They were. It was forgettable at that time. I mean, because especially we all know Nikki's second reign only came as a shot to AJ's reign being the longest Divas champion and all that jazz. So we're not gonna go there. But that was in a later time. You know what I mean? And Brie, her reign's kind of forgettable.
Her reign was a week.
Yeah, it really isn't
I
memorable.
literally just Googled it. That's how I know. I
It
don't
wasn't memorable at all. But
don't say I remember that off the top of the dome. I literally just Google. I'm like, how long was Brie?
hey,
Okay, a week.
she remembered at the end of the day, she was champ. Hey, weak, whatever. She, forgettable,
And that
but
was
she was
around the
champ.
time where they didn't really give a shit about the women anyway. So
It was, and so I guess to bring this back to them, I mean, hey, why not? Let's see what you can do. I mean, again, you're right. What they said with the New Day and what they've done with them, hey, go ahead. I mean, Jay has shown you twice because the initial plan was this was supposed to be a one-off kind of deal, and the Hell in the Cell extended because of how well the last match went. So, hey, let's see what happens. But continue with Mr. Tribal Chief and his Thanos-like journey and inspiration in this match.
oh yeah, then he continued to beat the living tar out of Jey Uso. He was, and I'm trying to tell you, if you have not seen Roman, if you thought Roman could not act for shit, you are definitely wrong. The reason why I say that is because my man, when he was starting to destroy Jay, he had the steel steps in the center of the ring. He put them right on his chest. And he was like, I told you, just like we was kids, I'm better than you. I beat your ass then. I'm beating your ass now. I told you to acknowledge me, but you didn't. Just say I quit and it is all gonna be over. Say it. And he just the tone, he's like, say it, say it, say it, say it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, and then I thought at one point they were gonna pull that shit they did last year with the Fiend and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
But when they had the producers and stuff come out there, I was like, bruh,
yes.
y'all better not.
I saw where you were going with that. Yeah.
Better not. Y'all better not. Then so Roman he looked at them like, bruh,
is this what
y'all dumb. This is not y'all have nothing. This is an I quit match. Y'all can't stop this. Why are y'all out here? They come out there saying, this is your bro, this is your cousin. This is your cousin. He like, I don't give a damn. I was beating his ass like this all my life. This ain't nothing new.
Listen, right here. It's right here. Let's pause it right here. This was probably one of my favorite parts of this entire match because of the fact that as I like you, I didn't know what to expect because I'm like, yo, what? Hold up now. They're not finna. I was like, hold up, what's going on here? You can't already just mess up one Hell in the Cell. No, not especially with the best.
But really, too, because if you think about it, they messed up the Roman versus Braun with the Brock interference.
Yeah, that too. But
and then
who cares about that one anyway? Nobody cared.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's like this would have been literally three straight.
Yeah, true.
That they messed up Hell in the Cell if they would have did it. And I'm like, bruh.
In the opening at that. So,
exactly.
That would have been a sour way to start a show.
My stream would have been 30 minutes.
But let's talk about just first of all, the swagger. Roman Reigns.
Oh, he was
deep voice.
Bruh.
The swagger.
I'm trying to tell you. The dude got new teeth over the summer and did not know how to act ever since. The man got new white teeth. Got new white teeth, new pearly whites. Been working in the gym nonstop. Got the abs on fleek. Got the sweat glistening down his whole chest, his back, everything. He's just walking like, bro, what are y'all doing out here?
You know what I'm saying? I told you this was gonna happen.
He's like, I told you.
I told you.
You notice how the Usos call everybody Us, but Roman only calls his family Us. He don't call nobody else Us.
Yeah, it's funny.
You gotta pay attention to detail because Roman don't call everybody. Us is kind of like brother. He don't call everybody brother.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, 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 very.
It's
thin
an
line.
exclusive thing for Roman. It's not as exclusive for the Usos, but it's an exclusive thing for Roman. So you like, bro,
Yeah.
yo, I told you, Us. All you had to do was acknowledge me.
That's all you had to do.
That's all you had to do.
That's all you had to do.
And then more officials tried to come in. Roman looked at y'all like, y'all can try to stop all you want to. Ain't no stopping this until he says I quit and acknowledges me. They left the cage door open. He said, you might as well close this shit. Ain't nobody leaving until he acknowledges
and
me.
The swag again. The
He
swag.
just gliding.
The fact that this man was trash talking and saying that. Wow, just shouts to the fact that they had the audio because the commentary, much like the last match,
I ain't give a shit about the
commentary. Not that commentary. I'm talking Roman, the actual commentary. Nobody's caring about that. They could have been silent. The commentary amongst Jay and Roman alone.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
This trash. The fact that
I had me,
nah, bro.
I had me some good. I had me some good passion fruit gas in my system. I was looking at this like it was a movie. I thought it was like a movie.
It exactly was a movie.
I did not. Exactly I could have had this thing on. Y'all literally could. Michael Cole and Corey Graves could have been mute the entire time, and I would have been perfectly fine. Exactly. Matter of fact, WWE Network, if you are listening, you need to give us an option to mute commentator, because I will literally listen to bumps and groins and my back. I will listen to the wrestlers commentate over y'all because I don't care what y'all say.
That live feel too. That's true. That's a great idea because it'll give you that true live feel. You know what I'm saying? Especially when fans are really starting to get back in the attendance and everything over time. Like, how dope would that just be? You just hear the crowd, you hear the bumps, like you're there in a live experience. Legit. Because when you're there live, you're not hearing the commentators. You're just seeing them out there running their mouth. You know they commentate, but you don't hear them. You're hearing what you actually see. But the bonus is, through the camera production, you're actually hearing the commentary of the wrestlers in the ring, the trash talk, the back and forths.
So, like Roman, for those who don't know, Randy Orton is your new WWE champion.
Whoopee! Let's celebrate.
There you go. Clap. That's it.
You get a golf clap, my friend.
I'm basically waiting around to see if the Miz is going to cash in. I doubt it.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen.
That's it.
And besides, that would be weird anyway. Why would a heel cash in on a heel?
Now, honestly, the only way I would care about Randy Orton being WWE champion again if the Fiend gets his win back. From WrestleMania 33, when Randy Orton crushed Bray Wyatt's WWE title reign.
Let me ask you.
The Fiend was created for revenge. He needs to get revenge. He don't have to get the title. He just needs to end Randy. But he don't need the title. He doesn't need the title. The Fiend does not need the title.
In your mind, how would you go about doing such a deed? Would you save this for a Mania? Would you save this for?
They're already going. I'm pretty sure they're going to probably run back Edge versus Randy Orton at Mania. I can already see that happening. I'll probably book it for SummerSlam, his 2-year anniversary.
That would be interesting. That'd be interesting. But do you see him being champion for that long? Honestly,
probably not. I can see the Fiend. I can see the Fiend screwing Randy Orton out of the title and saying, "I don't care about the title. I want you. I want to end you."
That could work.
That's how I would book it, but you know how they're going to overthink it. So anyway, back to Roman, the match we care about. I don't really. I just wanted to give the live viewers their notification that the pay-per-view just ended, and yeah. So,
and speaking of live viewers, thank you guys for tuning in. Now, on our end, we can't really see you. We just know we're live. But for those of you who are tuned in, hey, we want to say welcome. We're just, talking our cash money trash, you know what I'm saying? Like giving y'all our honest thoughts and opinions on what we thought of Hell in a Cell. But we didn't want to wait until the main event was over. We chose to go ahead and go live before the main event because we didn't care about it. But we're actually talking about the real main event, which happened to be opener. So, Mr. Gresham, continue, sir.
Oh yeah. So we get down to the final point. Roman continuing floating around with his swag like nobody can. He needs to get the Street Profits on gimmick infringement because he the only one that got the swag like that nobody can get like him. So you got Roman. He coming back. He running it back. He's saying, "Yo, you know what? I'm about to end him. He about to crush him in the chest with the steel steps." Jimmy Uso coming down in his supporting role. He killing in the supporting role. Coming down trying to protect his brother. The brother, you see the brotherly love. He's like, "Yo, this is your family. This is your brother. This is your cousin. We like brothers. What are you doing? What are you doing?" Roman with his brilliant acting. Those acting classes have paid off because this man has poured his heart and soul into this character.
Boy,
he got down. He sat next to his fallen cousins. He had legitimate tears. This man was crying. His eyes was bloodshot and red. This man was. He knew he was about to kill him. So he was literally crying.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what happened to me. Man. What happened to me? We used to be family. What happened to me? What happened to me?" And Jimmy was like, "It's okay. We forgive you." And that was his first mistake. He reached out his hand out to Roman to show a sign of solidarity. That was his second mistake. Roman grabbed it and they temporarily embraced. That was Jimmy's third mistake because he thought it was over. Roman said, "Ha, psych, bitch," and pulled him up into the guillotine choke. Jimmy Uso was locked into the guillotine choke.
With a face that is meme
the
worthy,
face
by the way.
that is memorable.
That
he
is
had him choked out. He was like,
meme worthy. I'm telling y'all now, you are going to see that expression
help
all over social media. Buckeye. So props to Jimmy in his own right as the
his storytelling.
He sold that.
He was telling the story himself. He sold it himself.
He sold it, man.
Help help me. Help me. Help me. Help me. That's literally what he was like. He was like, help me, Jake. Because if you didn't catch it, it got so real.
Yeah.
Jimmy called Jay by his government. He called him Joshua. Yeah. He said, "This is Josh, bro. What you doing? Josh. This is Josh down here. What you doing?"
And Josh, man. This is John and Josh. We your brothers.
What are you doing? So you know how real it was getting.
Yeah, man.
He had him in the guillotine choke, and Jay had to utter, "I quit." He uttered those dreaded words that no man ever wants to utter, and that is "I quit," to save his brother.
I must admit, I partially liked the way that ended.
Partially. I loved it.
Partially.
I loved it.
But I didn't all the way like it.
Why you didn't all the way like it?
Because the way that transition went, the way Jimmy's reaching for Jay and the way they're connected, it was almost like I expected Jay to try to give one more little surge, surge.
He was beaten to death, bro.
To see,
he was destroyed. He couldn't move. Yes, he barely could move.
He could barely move, but the way they were connected.
You thought Jimmy would have pulled him into one big punch.
Nah, man. Like this is like kind of like just like an imaginary. We're still.
No, I'm saying you get what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
They was connected. And Jimmy is fading, but he's trying to fight, and then he just pulls Jay into one big punch and then breaks it. But then
something to break it and then maybe do something. I mean, I knew Jimmy was the piece to obviously make him say that was the only real way, which is why I say I partially love it. I just kind of expected at least one little slight more surge out of Jay to just try.
I just wanted blood.
One last ditch effort.
I just wanted
blood would have been nice.
I wanted somebody to bleed. I'm sorry. I wanted somebody to bleed.
Blood might have been nice, but given that they are actual blood, I don't know. Might have came off a little.
That would have made it more. The reason why I said it because it's like, bro, if Roman is literally going to draw the blood of his own bloodline, what is he going to do to you?
Makes sense.
That's what. So
pull a Brock Lesnar on Taker. You know what I'm saying?
Just get him with an elbow. Get him with an elbow. Just say,
Or do like Brock Lesnar did Hulk Hogan at that SmackDown and just take the blood and
just wipe it off. That visual. That was a missed opportunity at Clash of Champions, and that was a missed opportunity here. The
That's even
visual of him wiping the blood of his cousin all across his chest.
would have gave you a little war paint, you know. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I
Y'all
feel
can
that.
censor it out in black and white when y'all do replays. Stop being scared with blood. Damn.
They could. Yeah, you're right. No, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, that probably you had tears,
You had the
had
tears.
the storytelling, you had the ass kicking, you had everything. You really kind of just could have used just a little bit of blood. It didn't have to be a freaking crimson mask. Could have just been, you know, like we've seen it. Could have just been a little blood, and then, like you said, enough where you can take it, wipe it across the chest,
Wipe across the
signify it.
chest.
It been that iconic moment, putting over Roman that much more as the heel that he's already is incredibly. It's just like the Becky Lynch situation. What made Becky Lynch into what she was? That iconic accidental botch from Nia Jax punching her in the face. Yet somehow Becky standing tall, bloody nose and all. And what happened?
She the man.
She's the man, edged in history forever from that
Oh yeah,
one
you can't
moment.
scratch that. You can't take that away from her. She is
You can't.
the man.
She's the man. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold. Stone
WrestleMania
Cold.
13, Bret the Hitman Hart. Sharpshooter. Stone Cold. Bloody mess. Screaming. Agonizing in pain. Not even tapping out one bit.
He passed out.
Passed out. Got back up and passed right back out. And even been helped up after the fact. Still, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could have, you know, it still would have made Jay look strong too, which it still did in this moment. I mean, again, the man does not look weak. He took a beating.
He took an ass kicking. He got destroyed.
He was not saying I quit, and it literally took his brother yet again. It took the agony of his own brother to make him finally utter those words. Not the fact that he got beat up. The man didn't. He could care less.
Exactly.
He could care less.
So now, to clarify, because WWE sucks at explaining rule stipulations, the consequences. Mm-hmm. Roman is the winner. So the Usos have to take orders, acknowledge him as the tribal chief of the Samoan dynasty. If they do not, if they refuse, then they are exiled. They are excommunicated from the dynasty. The Usos, Naomi, Jay's wife, their children, their children's children, their children's children's children, the whole future generation is excommunicated from the bloodline. WWE made it seem like if Jay loses, then they're excommunicated. No. They have to acknowledge him and take orders as the tribal chief, or they are out. They didn't explain that properly, but this is my explanation to you. This is what Roman said on social media. He said they have to acknowledge him as the tribal chief, take orders as we're going to get a faction more than likely of the bloodline where they're taking orders, or they have to be excommunicated from the family. And this is where I don't get why the draft drafted Naomi to Raw when the big story is on SmackDown, because it would have been, because they could have continued the story where Roman say, okay, you're going to acknowledge me, and Naomi come out like, okay, you got to do it or we're done, or we don't have support. That's the way they could have brought Naomi back on TV, but she's on Raw doing her own thing. She's probably not even going to acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's that's a missed opportunity, albeit I can possibly see why she's on Raw, although there's some, you know, you could have.
What's the reason why she's on Raw? They have no division.
No, but
it's just Asuka, Nia, Shayna, and that's it.
Based off what I'm seeing with what we'll talk about later, I'll kind of explain that. But you know, I can see where they're going with it. Although I think personally, you could have just used Bianca Belair in that situation. But I get it. It is what it is. Yeah, you could have kept Bianca Belair on Raw, put her in this spot, and have Naomi continue this, as you said. But we'll see what happens. You know, for sure, I'm glad you mentioned this because I was just about to ask you. So thank you for explaining what WWE failed to explain further within the details of this, because I was just about to ask you, sir, what is next for the tribal chief from here?
He about to make the Usos his bitches. They about to kneel. They gonna kneel on SmackDown.
But see, as this happens, then what?
Roman's gonna have Roman's gonna have a reign of terror. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna have a reign. They're building towards Roman versus The Rock. There's no one else. I'm trying to tell you. You keep saying
people say that.
I'm trying to tell you, there's no one else. Who else is coming back?
Are you completely?
What else is he gonna do? Who's gonna take him down? Who else is gonna take him down? It's not the Fiend. Who else is gonna take him down?
Yeah, you're right. It's not the Fiend because he's on Raw. So
who else is going to take him down?
That's what I'm here to ask you, sir.
You know Vince.
I want to know.
I'm trying to tell you. You know Vince is obsessed over part timers. The Rock is a part timer, even though he's retired. They keep teasing on it on social media. If this was not going to happen, they wouldn't tease it. They would not tease it because they kept teasing John Cena versus The Rock on social media before it happened. I'm trying to tell you. You have to pay attention.
Believe everything you see.
No, I'm trying to tell you, they're making it too obvious.
They've been
because
teasing
they're making it too obvious. I'm trying to tell you. Mark my words. If they're not doing Roman versus The Rock, they're doing something involving Roman and The Rock at WrestleMania. I'm trying to tell you from right now. It's like there's nothing else for Roman to do. There's no big baby faces on SmackDown for Roman to go through. Yeah, you probably have your who you got. You probably have who is there? There's no one. There's no baby face. Daniel Bryan maybe.
There's definitely
Daniel Bryan maybe, but then
you have to do that. It's with him. That's not even a maybe. That's
Daniel Bryan is on his last run because he already came on Talking Smack, said he's practically he's done full time. He's going to be a producer basically. He's
on his John Cena field.
He's been producing He's been producing while he was away. He's been producing. So he's
producing. Yeah,
he's a producer.
He's on his John Cena feels right now a little bit. He is putting the young talents over.
No, but I'm saying he's literally playing the supporting role. He does not want to be the face because he's pushing 40, so he's on his last year.
He's doing it right. He's doing it right.
Yeah, he's fading out. So that's what I'm saying. After Daniel Bryan, who's there?
A lot of money. Now,
are they going to build up Kevin Owens as a babyface, or are they going to turn him heel?
Man, that is so tricky.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, bro, they're building towards.
They're
building towards Roman versus a part timer. I'm trying to tell you.
If this were the KO from a couple of years ago,
this is the host. This is the talk show host we're talking about.
Exactly. This version, no, but the hot version that was feuding with Shane for the longest, that version would have been perfect for this right now. But he's lost a lot of steam from that.
A lot. He's dead.
A whole lot.
He's dead.
Yeah, everything but at this point.
No, I'm talking about it's dead as far as like interest because I literally was talking about Daniel Bryan. I had to literally look on. I'm like, oh yeah, Kevin Owens. That's the thing. So yeah, Kevin Owens is on SmackDown. He's a babyface. Who else is on SmackDown? That's a babyface.
Well, there's Big E, but he's not ready for it.
How you know he's not ready? How do you know he's not ready?
He still has to. They got to develop him, man.
What do you mean?
Stand out.
What do you mean? He's standing out now. What do you mean?
That New Day Big
E. You want him to be serious? Bro. And you want him to be the born Big E from the 3 and 95. That was born.
No. There is a way to make him serious yet still charismatic.
I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna take you back to 1999, 2000. Kurt Angle was a goofball, but then soon as that bell rung, he broke you down.
My sense of mix exactly.
So Big E, people are so worried about Big E they want him to change his character. He does not have to change the character. He can probably tweak it to where he get away from the pancakes and all that shit, and he could be his usual goofball self. But then once that bell ring, he's pissed off and ready to fight.
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's easy. They can take a month to do that. They can build Big E up. He can enter the Royal Rumble, be the final two, because I'm pretty sure they're probably not going to put the win on a full-time talent. They're probably going to put it on a part-time talent. Have him built up and chase Big E chasing the title to be the guy to finally take down Roman. If not at WrestleMania, after WrestleMania is the right move, in my honest opinion.
See, I'm thinking more SummerSlam for Big E,
That's
but
why I said a little bit after.
Mania, because if you really believe The Rock
Honestly,
is gonna be at Mania to do
honestly,
this,
at this point, no show. It doesn't matter because all the shows are the same. WrestleMania doesn't feel like WrestleMania. It hasn't felt like WrestleMania since WrestleMania maybe 28,
yeah,
maybe
I could give you that. These big fours haven't felt
like big
like
fours in a
themselves
while.
anymore.
Everybody's on the show.
Yeah,
It's not because you
everybody's
remember
on the
how it used to
show.
be back in the day where they had to scratch and claw to get on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But now it's like
All that.
everybody has to have a match on pay-per-view, so it doesn't feel special anymore.
No, yeah, you're incredibly light, especially after this recent pandemic version of it. It was like, oh well, we got to work with what we have and who we
We
have
got
at this point.
2 nights of WrestleMania, so that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
and
But yeah, SmackDown is completely limited with baby faces to go up against Roman Reigns. I'm pretty sure for a while they're going to continue this bloodline storyline where Roman is bossing his cousins around as their
I
tribal
can see
chief.
that. I can see it. It can carry itself because it
That's what I'm
doesn't look
saying.
it
So
doesn't look
for the
dull
rest
at
of the
all.
year going into and it's going to be big in the holidays because the holidays coming up. They're going to make it awkward. You got Thanksgiving coming up. You got Christmas coming up.
True.
So that's going to be a good little Christmas storyline where they can the visuals of Roman telling him and telling his cousins to give me food, give me this to prepare dinner for the family, this, that, and the third. Basically being Roman's bitches.
I don't think I really don't think he would. That's a little stretch though. I don't think he's gonna do them like that per se.
You'd be surprised.
I kind of look at it.
He got
more,
Paul Heyman in his ear. You'd be surprised.
I look at it more like they'll be because again he's been showing them love. Like I love y'all. I love y'all. All he wants them to do is acknowledge him.
Well, until Friday, because Roman said you that was your last chance. You turned your I'm turning my back on you. And what that meant was I'm about to whoop your ass.
Which he did do.
So who knows?
Now all that's left because
that's the beauty.
Doing
that is the beauty behind this. This is the best story that WWE has had since that I dug my teeth into since Stone Cold since the Attitude Era, Stone Cold versus Miss McMahon. That was the last time I really dig my teeth into a story. And after that was Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. That was one of the ones I dug my teeth into because of the talent there. And the last real story that I dug myself into was the Summer of Punk. Outside of that, it was kind of like I was on an autopilot. And then the Shield was a thing that was a beautiful thing. And then the Wyatt family, I tried to get into the Wyatt family, but they reached the glass ceiling with that one. But other than that, this is one of the good stories that you can literally look back and be like, yo, this is one of the dopest storylines that I've ever listened to.
There's no doubt this will be talked about for sure down the line a lot in terms of how this started, how it's, how it eventually ends itself, however they decide to, I guess, close it, the era of it. It's definitely going to be something. Now, in this stable, though, I am curious as to how this is going to play out. Like,
you kind of saw the ending. You saw the ending when Roman was celebrating. He had Alpha and Sika.
They were there.
They were there presenting him and officially crowning him as the tribal chief of the Samoan dynasty.
Exactly. And so I wonder now.
Do we have any Samoan dynasties that are free agents? They can incorporate some free agents into this.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest with you, outside of Jacob Fatu, the Samoan dynasty is basically free agents. They can bring them in for like a month or two. They don't have to give them long-term contracts. They can bring them in to continue the storyline, to continue to build up Roman as the tribal chief. And
is Tonga a part of the bloodline?
Tonga, you talking about Gorillas of Destiny, Tonga?
Yeah, is he part of the? He's not. He looks like he is for some
He looks like he is, but he's not.
I've always wondered about that.
He's from a different tribe. He's from a different tribe.
Man, if only he was in WWE, even with him being a part of a different tribe, it still would have been nice to just kind of, but it ties into the Samoa Joe thing we spoke about earlier, so it really wouldn't work as much as you would have wanted it to.
Unless they turned it into like a rival tribe thing. Other than that, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. But nonetheless, I guess
that's what I'm saying. Bring in some Samoan dynasty, bring back Rikishi to kind of stand up for his sons.
I
and
can
have
see that.
him be. You can kind of have Roman destroy Rikishi because I think Rikishi can still take a bump or two, or at least get beat up.
I
I
don't know.
don't
When's the
know.
last? I don't recall the last time I know he trains, but I don't know
He
when the
trains,
last
but I'm
time.
pretty sure he probably can get his ass whooped. Where he gets a nut check, leans down, and then start getting punched on. You don't require him to take too much of a bump.
It could. I mean, that would be interesting to see, just to see the Usos' reaction to it, because of the fact that's their own
That's what I'm
family.
saying
So
because
that
if
would
they
be
can play back into that
interesting.
promo package for Clash of Champions, where Rikishi was like, "Jay's is the next tribal chief," where Roman is like, "Nah, didn't you say Jay was going to
Yeah,
be the next tribal chief?
yeah,
Look where he is right now. He's behind me.
yeah.
He's not the
That's a very 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 distant future, like real distant future scenario. I can definitely see that playing out sooner than later, for
I'm
sure.
thinking long term, realizing trying to give WWE the benefit of the doubt. They actually don't do long term.
No, 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 no. Bump that. They get no benefit of the doubt. This is all Paul Heyman and Roman. Paul Heyman's writing this storyline. So we know who that credit's going to. This is all a Heyman thing, which again sucks, Bruce. Vince decided to say, screw you, Paul. Don't want you writing for either one of these shows. Go ahead and write for Roman Reigns. And well, there you have it.
And Roman is the only story that I give a shit about.
Exactly. So Paul wins again. Vince, thanks. But hey, listen,
There's so
this
much we can do. It's so much that can be done with that storyline. The
it's
sky's
a
the
lot.
limit with that storyline.
It is, man. And we don't have anything to fear with it. We can definitely say this should definitely go carry the rest of the year, carry most of next year, and however long they want to stretch this thing out, where it'll be interesting every single time. So I'm intrigued. I can't wait. You know. Now, Josh, you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Okay.
My camera died, so
Just making sure. You're good. You're
you're
good.
solo as far as visuals, but
As
you
far
you
as
can still hear
visual,
me.
we're good. Okay. I just wanted to make sure the people knew live that my boy was still there. My Uso is still there in the building. Y'all can't see him yet, but he's still there. Nonetheless, was there anything else we should really cover as far as this match, which was the main meat of what made today so
That
interesting?
was it. It's more so. It's like Roman is been solidified as the tribal chief.
Mhm.
He is the big dog, the head of the table. They don't even call him. They don't even need to call him the big dog no more. He's the head of the
Even
table.
yeah, they don't need to
He
call him that, but they still have a dog graphic in the background. Please
Yeah,
change that.
hopefully as time goes on, they give him new graphics and everything to kind of completely shift his transformation and
Yes,
make it where it's like, bro, this man is the tribal chief. We completely changing everything.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Outside of that, this match was the meat that I enjoyed
Do
on the platter that was this lackluster Hell in a Cell.
yeah, I know, right? Let
Jeff
me ask you
Hardy,
this. Hold
Jeff
on.
Hardy lost. I'm about to run through the. You said what?
Before you do that, before you run through that those fillers real quick, let me ask you this. Do you think, in your heart of hearts, regardless if we care or not really, but just given the guy and how he likes to rate matches, do you think old Uncle Dave Meltzer out there is gonna rate this 5 out of 5 stars in
I
terms
doubt
of
it.
matches?
He probably give it a 4.5.
Just because he's a jerk like that,
Just
right?
because he's a jerk like that. And just to be honest with you, this boy right here wipes a monkey's ass with what Dave Meltzer thinks about anything in regards to professional wrestling. That was a 5 star. That was a 10-star match. That broke the meter for me. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it. I will literally probably go watch that back sometime
that's
this week.
I will too. I'm glad you said that. And this again ties into the fact of why the main meat of this shows that I guess you could say everything crescendoed from here, because nothing really topped what we got
Mm-mm.
in the start,
They
which
had to
means
feel it.
this,
They had to follow it. That's why
yeah.
I'm like, why would y'all have this
Why would you
open?
start this? Yeah,
Why would
like
you start with this when we have
a lot.
a
Like
lot of other matches that has to follow this?
this clearly should have been the main event. It was clear. I mean, I know people out there were saying Bayley and Sasha. We'll get to that, but in the terms of out of all three of these, seeing as how one of the three we didn't even pay attention to at all, got right on this very live. That should have kicked it off because nobody cared about it. But hey, Sir Gresh, continue.
Yeah, Jeff Hardy lost to Elias via disqualification after Jeff Hardy attacked Elias with the guitar. Didn't care. Uh, what was the other match?
That's when we got into the Money in the Bank
Oh
match
yeah,
with Mr.
that match.
Otis
You
and
see how
Miz.
forgetful that match was? The match was so
The only thing,
basic.
the only thing I really just paid attention to or remembered was just when I noticed that, oh wait, Miz won this match, and I saw how Tucker stared, and then I realized, oh, Tucker turned heel, I guess, because I didn't actually see what he did, but I'm
Yep.
assuming he
So
hit
the
him with
ending
the.
of the match came when the Miz or John Morrison got ejected from ringside,
I
and
saw that.
then
Okay.
then Otis was making a comeback. He was about to bounce Miz off the ropes. Miz reversed it, and as Otis went down into the second rope, Tucker hit him with the briefcase, and that was the official split. We are revisiting Enzo Amore and Big Cass all over again.
Wait. Hold on. No. It ain't just that, my friend. No. This is rinse and repeat. I'm going all the way back to we've got Shad, rest in peace, and JTG.
Oh yeah,
When they split that up and did that, then we of
they should have
course
went
got
all out
in.
with my boy. I'm telling you
Yeah,
that right now.
Enzo and Cass. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, oh, let's not forget the countless times they did this back and forth with Matt and Jeff. You know, the Hardy Boys turning on each other a multitude of times. You know, more so
Twice to
Matt.
my knowledge.
Yeah, twice. More so Matt over Jeff than Jeff over Matt. But you know, you get my drift. But the difference is you actually cared about Matt. And I know I did. You know, I liked when Matt and Jeff kind of feuded against each other. It was always fun. But
I'm more of a Jeff Hardy TNA heel 2010 when he was the Antichrist fan.
you like that?
I
I
like that
actually
one.
hated that
I don't
run.
know why I liked it.
I
It was something.
hated
I
it.
think it because it was different at the time because he was
It was
played
different.
out as a baby face to me because I seen him as a baby face for so long.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay,
Nah,
this is different.
I feel it.
His
It was
promos were different. He was more menacing with his promos.
and I do remember that phase. Like it was fun. It was different. I agree it was
As
different.
far as
I
character
just
change, it was fun. His matches weren't, but his the character change,
well, we
yeah,
know why for that, but
yeah,
you know.
the character change was good, but the promos like the menacing, he was like, "I give you concussion, that shit's
Yeah.
free." That's
Yeah.
how he would say it. So I'm like, I like this because he would say it. He like them fucking free. He would
Yeah.
literally say that, and they had to bleep it out. So I'm like, yo, this is the
You know
Jeff Hardy
what?
character that I like.
Speaking of bleeping out, that actually reminds me because guys, this is Life's a Botch. I want to point out something going back to this Hell in a Cell match. Josh, I don't know if you caught this. I sure as heck did.
One of them
How
said
many
shit.
times? No. Jay said the S word not once but twice, and
Yeah,
WWE tried to blank it out after the fact. And I'm like, y'all so late. Whoever was in the production truck, I pray.
they
You know, it
said
was your
shit, and then it
job.
got quiet. I'm
Oh
like,
no, it don't even just stop there though. Did you catch when he said the F word too after getting whooped by that strap?
he said,
That man
"Fuck."
and I was like, they didn't even catch that one. I was like, yo, this is that. That's why I said the commentary between the talents in this match was just gold, bruh. Because when I heard him curse the first time, I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, you ain't shit. I was like, whoa, hold
Like, oh,
up. And then I heard the little bleep go out, and I'm like, bro,
bro,
y'all
y'all
too
late.
late.
Y'all late. Yeah, late.
I was like, yo, so I just had to point that out as soon as you said that.
What
When you
is up
said
with
bleep.
what is up with everybody in this you know how they used to do Japanese talk karate talk where they would be delayed with all the talking.
Of
What's up with
course.
them in this delaying? Because if it ain't here on the WWE network where they delayed on the bleeping, they are delayed on TNT as well. They be like, I'm trying to tell you how many times I don't heard the FTR on AEW say shit and they'll bleep it out
Oh yeah,
like 2
yeah.
seconds after. I'm like, bro, I heard everything he
You
just
heard
said.
everything he
They
just
be like,
said.
shit. I'm like, bro, really?
You're like, bro, it's too late at that point.
You're
Just take
delayed.
take the fine, and keep it moving. Cause you was late, bro. You was late. But I mean, I just had to point that out while we were talking about that. But I do agree. But you know, back to this tag team split
Yeah,
up
they split it. So
against.
it's like it's all in the follow-up for me. Like, will it be another rinse and repeat? More than likely, because
Yeah, so
Tucker, even though he's the workhorse of the tag of Heavy Machinery,
which
they
he's
didn't
right
really do
about.
much. They didn't really do much as a tag team. This is Enzo and Amore and Big Cass all over again because Enzo
It
Amore and Big
is.
Cass never won titles as a team.
But they at least lasted a little longer than these two did. These two
They
didn't even
they
really get a
lasted a
chance to
year
go.
on the main roster.
Exactly. Way longer
When did
than
when did Heavy Machinery come to the main roster?
it wasn't
Was it
that
late
long
last
ago.
year or the middle of last year?
It was very random. I remember that because remember Otis just kind of showed up in the middle of I think it was like an Alexa Bliss segment or something, and they were like, "Yo, who is this?"
Oh
It
yeah,
was
that was
so
the.
random.
Oh yeah.
Like it was
Oh, you talking
weird.
about it? Yeah, they showed up on a random episode of Raw where they was doing
Yeah,
like the moment of bliss.
yeah. They just showed up, and then Tucker's like, "Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry." He gets
And
out
I'm
of his
like,
clothes.
huh?
And then before you know it, boom, heavy machinery. Then they show the stakes and weights. It was around that time. Matter
It
of
was after
fact,
WrestleMania.
yes, because remember that's when EC3 had all those fancy promos
Oh
before
yeah.
he even.
So if you look at it, if you time that from there until now, it was over a year. It was over a year because it was after WrestleMania. WrestleMania is around April of last year, and then
Okay,
April of this year would have been a year, and then now is October. So yeah, it's
man, this is yeah, that's sad. I mean, we know Vince isn't a fan of tag teams or stables for that
he's not a
matter.
fan of tag team wrestling, but he sure do love putting makeshift tag teams together.
Yeah, he
Kevin
loves
Owens
putting
and
makeshift.
Daniel Bryan.
Exactly. Like I don't understand that. You put let's not forget this weird pairing of for apparent reason, whatever reason, Lacey Evans and freaking, like why are you putting you broke
Why
up
did
the
you break up the
Iconics,
Iconics
but
if
then
you're
you
gonna put
put
Pace
Peyton
Lace
Royce with
in a tag
yeah.
team?
Why would you when I saw that, I was like, really? I thought the whole reason of breaking up the Iconics was so Peyton Royce could go on a singles run, and you pair her with Lacey Evans in a bedfellow like way where they just don't get along. Who does that look like? Oh, Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler. It's a ripoff. It's like, oh my gosh, y'all, what are y'all doing? What are y'all really even doing? Vince, I don't get that. Like, he will break up true tag teams, not even giving them a chance when they could be over too, Josh. Like it's crazy. They can be Enzo and Cass were over,
Oh yeah,
completely over.
You remember their debut on the night they debuted. They got one of the biggest
Mm,
pops of the time.
biggest pops, dude. Like I remember putting them up there with the New Age Outlaws in terms of like fan interaction and
It was.
how
They literally said everything Enzo said.
mm, legit
My
word for word.
name is Enzo Amore, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Big Cass, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, biggest guys in the room. How you doing?
My
See,
point exactly. You see what I'm saying?
and
Like
I literally just shot that from the hip. I remember that literally.
how do
I'm
you
like,
how
I
do
didn't have
you
to.
I mean, again, it was the best thing to me since the New Age Outlaws coming out. Oh, you didn't know? Your
Dun, dun,
ass
dun,
better
dun.
call somebody.
Somebody.
You know, it's the D-O double G. Just like literally, like,
It's me.
you
It's
know,
that D-O double G.
like,
Riding once
bruh,
again with the D-O double G.
like, bruh, I'm just saying, like,
D
how
Generation X proudly presents to you its WWF Tag Team Champions of the World. The Road Dogg, Jesse James, the Badass, Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws.
and
And if
like
you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya.
his only line.
Suck it.
But nonetheless, that's what I'm saying. Like, so to show you guys, because y'all know this, y'all are wrestling fans, but we're just trying to maybe y'all can help us if you're watching live. Maybe y'all can put it in the comments. Help us understand what is the point of breaking up tag teams that are true tag teams, having them do this cliche thing where we're feuding against each other because Otis is getting all the attention and I'm the workhorse and I'm the one that told him to go hook up with Mandy Rose. What? Like, what? What? That's why you're mad at this dude because he got the hot girl? Is that what you're saying?
Bro, if we get an episode of Raw where Tucker is trying to bang Mandy, I'm gonna laugh.
You know what? I would not be surprised if we see WWE would do something like that. I could totally see it. Watch. You know you just set that up because now watch. Mandy's gonna come up to him. Watch. She's gonna come up to him like, Tucker, how could you?
And he gonna force himself on him.
There you go. Why don't you come get with a real guy like me? You know, I'm taller, I'm leaner, I'm this. Watch, something's gonna happen.
I got bigger meat. I got bigger hams. I got bigger steaks than Otis.
But
I'm more blue collar solid than Otis.
Here's what really gets me about this entire thing, though. Number one, bump the fact that there was a brand split anyway. So
shit, that thing lasted a week.
This shouldn't have even happened.
That brand split lasted a week.
Second of all, Otis clearly wants revenge because we saw him after the match during the interview segment while Tucker's giving his explanation and the Miz and them are still over there celebrating, you know, which, yeah, by the way, people, the Miz is your new Mr. Money in the Bank, which is weird because it doesn't even really matter because you forgot about Otis is Mr. Money in the Bank. So now you're supposed to remember, oh yeah, there is a Money in the Bank contract and the Miz is Money in the Bank, who, by the way, hasn't been the Miz that he was the last time he won the Money in the Bank because that was a totally different Miz. And if this were 2016, you know,
oh yeah, if this was 2016 Miz, if this was 2016 Miz, I would have.
Everybody would have popped. We've been like, oh hell yeah, but you got a reincarnated, you know, the Miz of 2009, you know, 2009,
2008, when he was with John Morrison.
Yeah, you know, with the freaking fedora. All you need is the little fedora cap and the long little pants or whatever.
All he got to do is gel his hair up into a mohawk.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? Like, what dude? Like, why do you even? What's the?
Why would I care? Because he's gonna fail.
Exactly. And then once again, at this point, no more Money in the Banks. No more. Because
if you want to bring it back, put it back on a WrestleMania where it's just one Money in the Bank ladder match.
Legit. You know what I'm saying? At this rate,
you can do the same concept. You can do that because I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoyed the cinematic version of Money in the Bank. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really did.
Yeah, no,
it was pretty cool. It was different, straight to the point. You had the women interacting with the women. You had the men interacting with the men. It was off-site.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind if they keep it that way and just have it its own attached to a pay-per-view and not an actual pay-per-view itself. Have it attached to maybe WrestleMania or SummerSlam. But just
the only thing though is if they do it again in that format, you have to take the winners seriously this time. Seriously, like we understand on Asuka's side
because Becky was pregnant.
We get it. Okay, that gets an excuse.
And even then, don't really get an excuse because you could have had Becky vacate the title and say, okay, we're gonna have a women's tournament to crown a new champion and have Asuka as the wild card with the briefcase saying, whoever wins this tournament, you watch out for me because I'm coming for it. Yeah. And she can be just watching and lurking with the briefcase, saying, you can have this tournament, but whoever wins, prepare to prepare to lose.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like, you know, that would have made more sense. But again, as we mentioned, it's WWE. It's never logic. So what do you expect? Of course, they're gonna say, hey, yeah, that Money in the Bank contract was actually the women's title.
Exactly. I'm like, huh? What? Since
when? You know, like, okay, I get it. You know,
it's like, you know how you just stop arguing, you just be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you're just like, all right, whatever. So again, we'll see what happens. We don't expect Miz to win anything with that
at all. And we're not going to spend too much more time on this particular match because we just don't give a shit.
Don't care. So again, Heavy Machinery officially split, not just in brands, but in terms of friendship, apparently too. Miz is your new Money in the Bank, which I guess we saw coming in some kind of way anyway, just not in that form. And on to the next Hell in a Cell match, which
which was
features the next best interesting storyline amongst Bayley and Sasha Banks.
oh
Gresh,
yeah,
take it over.
Sasha Banks is the woman to challenge for the reigning, defending SmackDown Women's Champion, the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, might I add, 380
350,
days
380 days.
as SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley, she won it. Oh, she won on the SmackDown of last year because they had to give Charlotte a reign, a 1 month reign as Women's Champion or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and she lost it right back. So I'm like, this was pointless. Anyway, yeah. So the friendship between Sasha and Bayley, they was teasing this for months. It was the summer of the golden role models. You had Sasha Banks and Bayley as the the women's tag team champions. Sasha actually had a recent reign as the Raw Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
The curse of Sasha Banks never retaining the title continued. She lost it to Asuka, and then they finally did the turn. A lot of people thought it was going to be Sasha who turned heel on Bayley, where in reality it was Bayley who beat Sasha to the punch and turned on her.
Mm-hmm.
The build to the story kind of have a few plot holes. Sasha was selling a knee injury, but they completely forgot about it. And she's been selling the neck injury until she took off the neck brace before the draft special of SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
That went to a DQ. We all knew that was going to a DQ. There was a pointless. They could have just announced it for Hell in the Cell instead of wasting it the match on a random TV edition of SmackDown. But this is WWE we're talking about. This match was actually pretty. I want to say it was the. I'm trying to tell you that Roman and Jay match literally no one could reach that expectation. I'm sorry.
Nobody.
It was a pretty good match because anything involving Sasha inside of Hell in a Cell is always good. Let's just be honest with you, because she will kill herself. Because she was taking bumps where I was like, Sasha, protect your neck. Because it was a few spots where she was doing them double knees where when she landed, her
Yeah.
neck was almost literally caught on the LED board. I'm like, will you protect your neck, woman? Please.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Mike
know.
Makazi, her husband, please talk some sense into her. Because
Please.
she keeps taking these bumps.
She could be one bump away from being like Paige, who, by the way, you never know. Never say never. Just saying. She put that out there. Put me in, coach. But who knows?
Who knows? Who
Maybe.
knows?
But
Yeah, this match was fun. They was using I've had my fair share of Kindle sticks. They was using a lot of Kindle sticks in this.
yes.
This was a pretty solid match. What you think about this match?
Okay, so if I'm not comparing it to the obvious first one, as we mentioned, the bar was set, and unfortunately, it did not reach that bar, but it didn't have to because we knew the feud would carry, and in its own way, it would be still interesting, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. Fun fact, actually, to those who probably didn't know or just probably didn't pay this attention, Sasha Banks has now faced all members of the Four Horsewomen in a Hell in a Cell match. And
True.
on top of that, it's official if people didn't already agree. Sasha Banks is now the workhorse of the Four Horsewomen because of the fact that, well, she's the one true person to go against all of her fellow Four Horsewomen in this very style of match. She
True.
makes history by being in the very first Hell in the Cell with Charlotte. And then, of course, you saw she makes her comeback. She reinvented herself. She goes against Becky. They have a phenomenal, memorable Hell in a Cell match in their own right. And then here we are.
A year
When
later.
things come full circle. And she finally gets her win. Her pay-per-view win for a championship. Because I believe this is her first title win on a pay-per-view. So congrats to Sasha for that.
Yeah, because we don't count the Extreme Rules. We don't count that.
Yeah, nah, that doesn't count. This is her first legit actual title reign that is not on a TV show such as a Raw.
In a
This
while.
is
In a
in
while. Because
like Yeah,
I think she won at SummerSlam. She defeated Alexa Bliss in 2018.
2018. Yeah, there was that.
2018, 2017, one of those. It was a SummerSlam, one of those numbers.
One of those. I do
It-
remember that. I do remember that. And then of course there's the tag team win with Bayley. You know,
yeah,
against
so
the
that's the
Chambers.
she's had a few
You know,
few like she's only had two title wins on pay-per-view, and this was the third, if you
exactly,
think about it. I'm pretty
exactly.
sure a few of her Sasha stands will probably correct us, but it is what it is.
That's what
But
it is. And I'm a Sasha fan. I am.
no, I ain't
Lord
say
knows.
fan. I said stan. Like the
Oh,
ones who
Stan. Okay,
knows
those
her
ones.
ins and outs, her
Her ins and
personal
outs.
life.
Oh yeah, yeah, those
Who
analysts.
got her
Those.
profile picture as they profile picture. Like yeah, that's
Yeah,
those
yeah.
strong stands. They will
Strong
correct us.
stands. Okay, yeah, those stands. My
The
bad.
stands, not the
Forgot about
fans.
y'all.
We're fans. They're stands.
Stands. Yeah. Okay. Point well taken. Kind of like the guy who, well, you know what? We're not even going to talk about that jerk. He's in jail now and doesn't even deserve to be mentioned.
Yeah, no.
Nonetheless, nonetheless, yes. Then again, there were spots that had me go ouch on Sasha's, but I mean, it shows her incredible selling ability for one.
Now it
Again,
shows her willing
respect
to put her body on the line.
that too, which includes in the selling, because I mean, she legitimately will make you look like it felt, where it's like,
Yeah.
yo, ouch,
She's
that.
embracing Eddie. She's embracing Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was legitimately her fan. I mean her inspiration. And
Yes,
she's literally because when you look back at a lot of Eddie Guerrero's matches, he was ahead of his time.
ahead of his time, man, and
I'm not really talking about his first run before 2002, but when he came back in 2002, if you look back at The Rock versus Eddie Guerrero on that episode of Raw for the undisputed WWF Championship,
mm-hmm.
you have to look at the technique that Eddie Guerrero put in on that match. That dude is one of the only few to smoothly reverse a rock bottom into a roll up.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
Rock was going into a rock bottom and he reversed it so smooth. I'm like,
yeah, super smooth.
this is how you this is a lot of people took Eddie Guerrero for granted when he was wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look back at his matches, you like, bro, I really did take this man for granted.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, and it's just like to see him do his
So now
thing.
I think that's why a lot of people appreciate a lot of talent now, like your Sasha Banks, your Baileys, because you can't take nothing away from Bayley. Bayley has been on top of her game all year since she
Oh yeah.
turned heel. I
Mm-hmm.
said this on my podcast when she first turned heel. I said finally she has embraced the thug life.
Yeah, and it took a minute because it's the first few
You got the
months.
growing pains. You got the growing pains, of course. You got
Yeah,
the growing pains.
it was like, where's this going? Like, yeah,
And
it's great.
now she has solidified herself. Like I don't ever want her see her hugging nobody like the huggable. I don't want to see that character revived whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see that again. That's
That's what I'm
definitely
saying.
a dead
I think
finish.
she killed that in the interview. She said, I'm 34, 35. I'm trying to act like a fangirl. That doesn't work for me. She
I
said
think,
that.
yeah, I think that was her. To be completely honest, that was her Rocky Maivia phase of life. It had potential to be a John Cena type, but it wasn't done right. But again, this, hey, she's now in her well, in Doctor of Thugonomics phase. She's just not a rapper, of course, but you know, hey,
Ding
we
dong.
appreciate her.
Hello.
We appreciate her. We love her. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
the reverse effect.
You
You
can't,
know?
you cannot. I'm still not 100% a fan of Charlotte. Can't take nothing away from her in ring ability. Charlotte is one of the top, but it's the booking that annoys me. But other than
Agreed.
that, I
Agreed.
respect. Honestly, I could tell you all four horsewomen. I'm a fan of them in some aspect. Charlotte, her in ring ability, her willingness to do certain things is out of this world. She's great. Becky after she got her face busted open, she has been untouchable
The face
until Seth did his
face of the
Seth
company.
thing and now she's impregnated. Then you have Sasha. She is the workhorse of the four horsewoman. And then you have Bayley. She is the underdog. She will always be the underdog in some way, shape, or form because people don't put her at the level of Sasha Banks and your Becky Lynch's and your Charlotte's. But after this year that she's had, she's top one of PWI 500.
Mm-hmm.
She's number one.
Yeah,
She is literally going to make you put her name up there as equal to the other three of the four horsewomen. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, just because I'm shooting from the hip. Oscar is the fifth horsewoman.
I was totally gonna say that because at the end of the day, this division, especially now,
During this
pretty much
pandemic, Oscar has
falls.
carried the women's division during the pandemic era. Let's be real.
It pretty much Oscar, Bayley, and Sasha at this point.
Yeah, Oscar,
Um,
Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte was on autopilot for a bit with the NXT Women's Title. We're not even gonna mention that no more. And then Becky went away. She was still on top of her game. But yeah, Oscar, Bayley, and Sasha have carried the women's division during this pandemic era.
Now, however, I'll tell you there's one that is very well on her way, and it is coming very, very soon, which we will talk about because now
We
that
might as well talk
Sasha
about
is
it
your
now because this is the
champion,
last match
this
that
is
we.
true. Now that Sasha is your women's champion, there is a certain someone on SmackDown who's getting built up very soon. We've seen the vignettes. She's running through as we speak. They're just gonna keep feeding her, I'm sure, at some point, and then she'll get unleashed. Miss Bianca Belair.
I'm on
The
my
woman.
own against the
Listen,
world.
did you see the way Zelina Vega was making her look? I mean, look, people say what they say about Zelina Vega. I'm tired of the disrespect on Zelina Vega. I get it.
I have no
tiny.
disrespect towards Zelina
Not
Vega
you,
because she's
not-
one of
not
the
you.
she's one
Yeah.
of the best
No, definitely
on the
not you.
microphone.
I mean the ones out there, some of those critics,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, like a certain guy from NY who's like, oh, stick to Andrade, stick to just being. No, sir.
or stick to
You
catering.
need people. You need people like Zelina Vega to help sell a Bianca Belair. The fact that she did a Hurricane Rana on Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair was legit able to do a full-fledged front flip on her feet, gymnastic style, to sell that, or it's the fact that she allowed this woman to carry her from like her knees all the way up to a gorilla press. It takes someone like that with, like how you mentioned Eddie Guerrero. Zelina Vega obviously has some of that inspiration in her own right, from an Eddie Guerrero in a sense, because like, dude, the fact that she's probably allowing people to take her for her small stature and say, hey, do what you will with me. I'm flexible enough to be able to make this work. Trust me, I'm gonna make you look good. Get that woman her due. If
Oh yeah,
you're one of those
I'm
out there
trying to
that's
tell
not,
you. I'm
give
not
her.
saying rush it, but Bianca needs to be at that top in the conversation. She needs to be she needs to be in the conversation, and hopefully this move to SmackDown proves my point because, like I said, everything always be. I'm gonna be honest with you. SmackDown is better than Raw because nothing drags. Everything has
Oh
to be
yeah,
everything has to be to the point. Has to
yeah.
make sense because it's a 2-hour show on one of the biggest networks in the United States, Fox Network, Fox on Fox. USA is not really as big as Fox. Let's just be real.
Not at all. Not anymore. In the 90s, it was. That's for sure. But then again, SmackDown wasn't on Fox back then, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
SmackDown went from the CNN from the UPN, UPN,
to
which is now the
Sci-Fi.
CW network. They went to Sci-Fi. They went to that one that
USA.
they went to they went to USA for a bit. They had that one period where they was on some random network I forgot about in 2008. But other than that, yeah, they was
Oh,
mainly
yeah, I forgot about it too. I just remember, I remember UPN, Sci-Fi, and USA, and then all of a sudden Fox now.
yeah.
That's all I
So
remember. But
they've been in on 5 networks in their existence, but at the end of the day, SmackDown is the show that you can digest as opposed to Raw.
true. Now, technically, the thing about it is, technically, even with Sci-Fi though, that's technically USA.
Yeah,
So technically, even
that was
during the
before it was
Sci-Fi
USA. I
days,
think somebody else had Sci-Fi before USA bought it.
they might have. I don't remember
Because I
that, but
remember when it was, I think when it was somebody else, it was actually spelled out SCIFI, like sci-fi. But then
right.
when USA bought it, they just abbreviated to SYFY, sci-fi.
Yeah, it could have been. We'll have to. Yeah, that's a research for
That's a
another
research
day.
that I'll do when I'm bored
Yeah,
the
when we're
bored at the
bored.
crib.
Who cares? But
Who
nonetheless,
cares?
we'll look
Anyway,
into
but
it.
yeah,
So okay, while we're talking about women in general, let's just real quick just talk about this entire division from both angles. Now we know.
if you break away your Bianca Belair, your 4 horsewoman, or your 5 horsewoman, which is Sasha, Bayley, and
Becky,
Becky and
Charlotte.
Oscar and Charlotte. Or Charlotte, I said Oscar twice. Charlotte. And if you break away them and then you really don't have a solid division under them. I mean, they
Yeah,
dropped the
because
ball with Shayna. She's with Nia
They
now.
yeah, they've dropped the ball on Shayna. You have Naomi, but we know she's been injured, and
They're
this is
probably
what
not
we're
gonna do
going to
much
talk
with.
about.
They're probably not gonna do much with her. I'm just letting you know right now because it's like they keep doing
unless
these start and
unless
stops with
they
her.
unless they put her in this storyline, because there's two ways they can go with her right now, which is you either forget the fact that you drafted her to Raw and you bring her right to SmackDown and put her in this storyline with the whole bloodline stuff, or you pair her up with the Hurt Business on Raw, the only thing that's bright about Raw,
Literally.
and you allow her to be a reincarnated version of the Team Bad Naomi, only a little more elevated.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, she's got two options.
And they got Tamina. She's been trapped into Raw as well, so they can bring her back.
That's true.
They can
That's true.
reunite two thirds of Team Bad.
They could. They could. I mean, there's some things. It's just depending on what they want to do and how they want to do it. But you have two options because you got the hot storyline and you got the hot stable. Well, at least until the bloodline comes around, and then I guess that might take some focus off of the Hurt Business.
And then you have Alexa Bliss being controlled by the Fiend. She's Sister Alexa now.
Which is great because it looks great. She's actually taking the shine from the Fiend in a way, which is, I guess, is good. I love this version of her. The only thing is, we ain't gonna see much of it in the ring. It don't look like. I don't think so. That kind of looks more like a side piece kind of deal or something. I don't know.
And then I think they're probably going to bring Nikki Cross into it again because I know on their Raw Talk, their interview show thing that nobody watches on the network, I think they did a part where Nikki was like, "Alexa, let me in." So I'm guessing Nikki's going to try to get through to her best friend because if you look at it, Alexa was left alone by Nikki and was vulnerable because of Nikki, because Nikki shoved her down and that set her up to be controlled by the Fiend.
Mhm.
So Nikki feels this sense of it's my fault that you're in this mess, that you're controlled by the Fiend, but you don't really she don't really realize that Alexa has given in. She's not being controlled. She accepted the aura of the Fiend because she realized that his way is giving her more success and more dominance, and she's not weak
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
So it's so many ways that they can do as far. It's so much stuff they can do with the women's division. It's just they just choose not to. It's so much talent they can do because Liv Morgan is a dark horse to me. Because I saw a video on social media where she was training lucha libre style and she was fluid.
Yeah. Yeah. She is a dark horse, and Ruby
Ruby
Riot on
Riott
her
as
own
well.
is a yeah.
Ruby Riott as well.
They're dark horses that, I mean, I get why you paired them again, but at the same time, they should be on their own, in some kind of way because they could really help uplift this thing. Now, Nikki Cross, another dead piece.
The only way
Someone,
this will work is if they have the Fiend convert her back into the Let's Play Nikki, the crazy
yeah,
Nikki from the
yeah,
Sanity Nikki.
yeah, she has to be that version at this point because that's what kind of got Nikki over anyway, to be honest. And I mean,
Especially when she was involved in that storyline with who attacked Aleister Black in NXT. When she was
yes,
like, I know, I know, I know,
yes.
I know, I know, I know.
Hmm.
And when she knew, you was like, okay,
Yeah,
this works.
Nikki Cross, because of her accent, is not meant to be talking the way that she's talking now,
No,
like normally. The
no.
Let's Play Nikki, who's few of words, repetitive with words,
She
you
like,
know.
let's play.
Yeah, that's the Nikki Cross you need. That's the Nikki Cross, and I hope that's actually. I'm glad you brought the Fiend up because that's what I was hoping. With liking the fact that Alexa Bliss is paired, I hope the Fiend can turn her. Give her a
That's what I'm
mandible
saying.
claw, give her something, do something, and just
Let his
rework her,
presence just control her to the point where she snaps and
and she
goes,
goes right back
and
to
she
Let's Play. You
and
know what
that
I'm
can be
saying?
a modern spin on the Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross team.
Hmm. It can be, or if she's on her own, you can revisit what happened with her and Oscar in NXT.
Have Oscar have her bring back have her bring up the fact that okay, WWE is promoting Charlotte versus Becky as the first ever last woman standing match in WWE history. And Alexa walks up, says, I'll hold my beer, and roll the footage. And she pull up the fact that she was involved in the first ever last woman standing match in WWE history in NXT with Asuka. And Asuka, she roll up on Asuka, be like, you want to run it back? And then punch her. And then that's it. She's like, let's play. Bam, punch her. Walk away.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, WWE.
And I think that's what they're missing when it comes to their storylines. A lot of these storylines and these matches don't need too much dialogue. You don't have to drag it on. You don't have to do this or that. You can literally have someone come up to like, we have history. I want my win back. Let's fight. One punch, walk away. That takes 5 minutes. You don't need to do 2 to 3 weeks of a build. You can literally just set up a match. You can literally have a Adam Cole walk up to a Tommaso Ciampa and say, let's run it back one more time. Super kick. And then walk away.
I'm telling you, man.
They're overthinking. That's the reason why I think WWE comes off as cheesy sometimes. It's because they're overthinking it too much. Yeah. They're thinking we're dumb as viewers. It's like, no, bro. Just say this first A and B is about to fight. Have A interact with B. Have B knock out A. There you go. There's your match. There's your main event. There's your feud.
There it is.
Have something in the balance. Have it where they make it personal, where they attack the family. But they don't have to drag it on. Make it real.
Make it real.
Do away with the bullshit, Young and the Restless, keeping up with the Mysterios crap that you have with Buddy Murphy and Aaliyah Mysterio. I don't care for it. I'm done with it. I don't care for it. Yeah. Buddy Murphy they had Aaliyah hug Buddy Murphy on SmackDown, and Buddy was looking like, bruh, why are you touching me? Whose child is this? That's literally how he was looking. That's how he was literally holding her. Like, whose child is this?
That feud is more dragged than Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. I swear.
At least I was interested in that one, low key.
Yeah, yeah, to a degree.
To a degree, because it's Kevin Owens. I was a fan of. I'm a fan of Kevin Owens.
Yeah, but I just thought it was too much of a ripoff of Austin and McMahon.
Oh, it was. We know it was. He had the stunner and everything, so we know.
It just wasn't working for me, man. I couldn't get past that. I like Kevin Owens, but I didn't like that. But he was hot at the time. I get it, so I understand. I was proud of the resurgence. I just hate it didn't lead to anything significant. No WWE title or something. But it's neither here nor there. The thing is, as you mentioned, there's a lot of things that needs reconstructing here. There's some bright points, and then there's some not so bright points, but you can kind of find a way, because with this women's division, as we mentioned, we've already taken away who are the pillars here and who are the ones on their way up in these pillars.
There's not really that many.
But after that, you got Carmella, who's got reinvented, and what have they done with her?
I forgot about that already. You just reminded me.
What have they done with her since? Once again, no matter what Carmella does, another underrated worker for that matter. I just don't understand why she.
I remember at one point they had her just doing nothing but super kicks. I'm like, she could do a lot more than that.
She can do a lot more than that. Like,
remember her feud with Nikki Bella?
Yeah. Mella can do a lot. People don't understand. That girl can go.
But they just don't want her to go.
They repackage her. I mean,
she went from fabulous to untouchable, and I'm like, that's it.
That's it. Like, what is this supposed to do? I liked her run with Truth. That was entertaining. I loved the pairing her and Truth had. And as that came to its end, then I'm thinking, okay, well, is Mella going to get some shine? No shine, nothing. And I just want the Carmella back from either, like you said, the Mella that was like heel Mella and kind of a nuisance and annoying, but Nikki Bella and her had that go feud where like she got to showcase what she could do, or give me that Money in the Bank Mella that literally just went on that run, beat Charlotte. That Charlotte put over for crying out loud. Think about that.
Charlotte, someone Charlotte rarely put over.
Charlotte put Carmella over, people. And what has that gotten her by now? Because of that, Mela should have been right up here with the Baileys, the Sashas, you name it, easily right now. And I feel for her so much. And she's blonde, so I don't understand it. Vince loves his blondes. Same thing with Mandy Rose, another one that I don't
They
understand.
trying to turn her into Trish from 2000.
They failed at it because she's not even nowhere near where I thought she would have been. Now, here is a wild card though. When she returns, Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville.
Oh yeah, she's someone to look out for because she grew into that character.
She left on a very hot note, people. So I'm just here to let y'all know when she returns, and Lord knows what she's gonna reinvent herself. Like between this real life situation that made her step away, there's a lot she can take from that on top of what she did when she left. Reinvent herself even more to be more of a badass and come back and be just kicking everybody's ass. Like
I'm trying to tell you, she gave me Victoria vibes. Victoria from 2002 when her feud with Trish Stratus when they went to that hardcore match at Survivor Series.
My favorite Victoria ever, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
She gave me Victoria vibes. Give her the ball and let her run with it. Yes. I'm telling you that right now. Give her the ball and let her run with it.
When she's gonna be a nice surprise element. When we think WWE doesn't have any more contenders for somebody, it could be Sasha, it could be Asuka. We don't know. Depending on who's still champ, by the time she comes back, she's gonna be an X factor for one of these feuds. And it's gonna be money. It is going to be money. Mark my words on that.
Oh yeah.
But again, man, when you take that away, I said Mandy Rose. I don't understand why she has the look. She's getting better athletically, but I don't know. I don't understand what it is that they're doing with her at this point.
Who honestly at this point, who knows? Because it's like Vince changes his mind, reportedly changes his mind left and right. And the show is being written as the show is going on. So
it's true. We'll
and I'm gonna go ahead and kill this slander. WCW 2000 is looking a lot better.
I saw that tweet you said, bro.
Yes.
Care to emphasize that to the people really quick?
Raw was that terrible. When I put that tweet, I said, bro, WCW is not as bad as it seems anymore.
What about the dark ages of WWE? You know,
are you talking about the next generation era when they was doing all the gimmicks and stuff?
No, even after that. I'm talking about, as you mentioned, how you said from about, what was that, 2009?
Oh yeah, 2009 to 2011, 12, where it was literally just rainbows and rose petals and John Cena Fruity Pebbles and all that crap. Yeah, that was.
How does that look compared to today?
That even looks better. That's what I'm saying. I will watch anything.
The Santino Morello.
Anything 2006, the early part of 2017 and before. That's what I will rewatch. Anything after that, I don't care to look back.
Aside from the storyline that we mentioned earlier with the bloodline, that's the only shining point.
No, that's modern. I'm talking about like in the past, like 2017, early 2017, and before that. I wouldn't mind looking back as compared to now. Outside of the bloodline storyline and Sasha and Bayley and Asuka, and that's it. That's it. It's even NXT to this day is kind of just it's just there.
We forgot someone.
Who we forgot?
We forgot Sami Zayn.
Oh yeah,
man.
They don't respect the Intercontinental title.
They don't, and that's a shame. But
you saw how he was picked in the draft. He wasn't even in the top 2.
Not even in the top 2. But the crazy thing is, even with what he's making out of the lemons in front of him, this man literally is on arguably his best run on the main roster since being on the main roster.
Arguably. Oh yeah.
And if they just could take advantage of this yet again, and ironically, he's on SmackDown. So yet again, here's a case of another person, especially if you pair him up with the right individual, not Kevin Owens. Do not bring that back.
Please don't.
We've seen that enough.
I'm over
Someone else that can get some real good chemistry with Sammy and make one hell of a storyline.
Just run back Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn one more time.
I could see that. You know, why not? Why not?
Well, it looks like they're doing that. So we might see a few with Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn over the Intercontinental title. I mean, they had that one match at WrestleMania, but
Yeah.
this one might hit different because Daniel Bryan is on his last run. So you already know he about to go all in because he not about to make his last run.
And truth be told, if it's not Daniel, then maybe Big E. Maybe.
Maybe Big E, yeah.
You
We
know,
can.
he,
It'll be kind of a step back because he's already won the Intercontinental title, but
but he wasn't what he is now at that time. In fairness, though, he was still
true,
finding himself. So
true,
this
true.
Intercontinental run would actually way outdo that one. I mean, he even said it himself on the New Day podcast when he won that title. He had no idea anything about himself. He was going off what people were telling him, all of that. Like now, because of the New Day
He
and
don't
all of
care
that,
what you say.
this man's got say so now. So I'm pretty sure whatever he wants to do, he's got the green light to do it. So this IC title run could get him propelled and ready to take him to that next level of main event status. You know, so we'll see. Like I said, Sami Zayn, put him against somebody. You know, because this man is hot right now. So with the right baby face to pair against him, there you go. You know, yet another money feud and another interesting storyline. I just hate they couldn't find anybody for him tonight. Even if they did a filler match with Sami Zayn and somebody, that might have been more intriguing too. Who knows?
Who knows that? Other than that, that was your Hell in a Cell 2020
Yeah, yeah. I
review.
mean, there was
Really,
nothing else to talk
the
about.
main event. What did you think before we get out of here? What did you think about Drew McIntyre's reign as his first official WWE World Title reign?
Honestly, I'm half and half in the sense of it was disappointing to me given the feuds. I wasn't interested in really many, if not all. The only feud I really was interested in of his during his title reign was with Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah, I forgot he faced.
That was the only feud I remember that was actually
Why did
like,
I forget
oh,
he faced Bobby Lashley?
because Bobby Lashley's in the hurt business and he's
No,
not.
because they had him facing Randy Orton like 20,000 times
Well, yeah, that too.
and
There's
three
that
times.
too.
Well, it was really technically three times
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I didn't care for what him and Seth did. I didn't care for that.
because we saw that literally 2 years prior.
And I mean, again, that was kind of like, oh, Seth's the workhorse. We'll just put him in there with Drew. They'll have a 5-star match.
You know the real reason why they did that is because they didn't want to strap the rocket on Kevin Owens. Because to me, to this day, it should have been Kevin Owens facing
No,
Drew
I agree. I totally
because
agree.
he won at WrestleMania. I know he had the ankle injury, but it's like, bro,
Yeah.
Kevin Kevin Owens, even if he did come back from the ankle injury, he should have immediately said, you know what,
Yeah.
screw this. I won at WrestleMania. You fight me.
And exactly with what you said about how we were talking about the Kevin Owens that feuded with Shane McMahon and how hot he was at that time, that could have reignited what he had then if they would have given the rocket to him in that moment. But you only further sunk the ship.
He's now a talk show host.
You know, I mean, at this point, Kevin Owens, I don't know his contract situation. I think he's with him for quite some time, but
At this point, it's all down. I don't even ask about contract situations no more. It's more so what do you want? Because another prime example is Drew Gulak. During the summer, his contract expired. He had the option to leave. Literally, he could have appeared anywhere else. His contract was done.
yeah,
He re-signed. Now he's involved in 24/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South. Georgia is the best state in the country title. So
yeah,
he's not really doing anything. And people are feeling bad for him. I'm like, bro, he signed that on that dotted line. I don't give a shit how he feels. I don't. I don't feel anything. I'm like, this is what you signed up for, bro.
what you signed up for,
It's
man.
on you.
Yeah,
It's on
yeah,
you, fam.
it's yeah, yeah, fam. It's on you. But I don't know, man. I mean, going back to Drew, which initially is what it is. I mean, again, outside of that feud with Bobby Lashley, which was the only feud that actually interested me, I just didn't. I mean, but I
Yeah, I
can't
don't.
really.
It's not that memorable to me.
It's not. It's
It's
not.
it's it's. I think it's more so because WWE doesn't know how to book baby faces.
Yeah, that, and then also my other thing with it is because it's the Kofi effect, really. It's just like his reign is
He had the
forgettable.
same
Kofi.
pattern when you think
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, it was the
You
same
had
pattern.
Kofi go overcome the big whatever obstacle at WrestleMania. His
Mhm,
first opponent was whoever, and then his second opponent was Dolph Ziggler.
mhm.
His third opponent was Randy Orton,
Samoa Joe.
and Samoa Joe, and then Randy Orton.
Hmm. Yeah.
Switch it up to Drew McIntyre, overcame Brock Lesnar, faced Seth Rollins,
Hmm.
faced Dolph Ziggler
Hmm.
twice, faced Bobby Lashley,
Hmm.
then feuded with Randy Orton for 3 to 4 months.
Hmm. The only
That's not a title
difference,
reign.
the only difference between the two is Kofi actually beat Orton, but he kind of had to because that was just revisiting the story that they had.
The stupid, stupid,
Right?
stupid storyline.
Yeah, that's all that did, and I understand why they did that. Kofi needed to get that win back, so I respect it. I remember that part because I respect it. Cool, well done. Okay, not well done in terms of it was still boring, but it was
Oh
like
yeah, both title reigns are boring. Let's just put it. Let's
yeah,
just nip it in the bud. Both title reigns were boring.
but the difference is at least when Drew lost, he lost in a competitive Hell in a Cell.
He didn't lose in 10 seconds or 7 seconds.
And the similarity between both reigns is that at least both of them got their overall mania moments. Unfortunately, for one, there was no crowd involved, but they both got their mania moments, and I'm happy for both of those guys in that term. But yeah, I mean, and I guess I'd say not having a crowd also killed Drew's title reign because, well, we don't really know how fans were reacting. We had to go off of social media, I guess.
I
You
mean,
know,
if we look at how when he eliminated Brock at the Royal Rumble, they went crazy. They went
they went
ape shit
crazy. Oh
crazy.
yeah, oh yeah,
So he probably was gonna get a big pop if we had still had crowds.
yeah.
Yeah, crowds played a factor into it, but it all once you strip away the crowd factor and the COVID factor,
Mm-hmm.
it's all in the booking, and the booking wasn't there. They could have went outside the box with with everything during the pandemic. They wanted to go as business as usual. That didn't work because
Mm-hmm.
business as usual involves the fans. Once you stop playing off of fans and you really sit down and you think about it and you look at it, WWE has lost its creative edge in the year. I'm just gonna shoot from the hip. They lost their creative edge when they went PG.
Oh yeah,
The reason
that
why it was interesting in 2011 was because of CM Punk. When he left, that was it.
that was it.
Then Brock came back and he was interesting as WWE World Heavyweight Champion from 2014 to 2015. And then after that, the brand split. And then after that, it was just like it was the Roman agenda, and I just did not physically, emotionally care. It was just
Well,
me.
remember you had your Daniel Bryan era
Oh,
too.
you had the Daniel Bryan era, which was good too.
Yeah, that was
That was
good.
great. I love that. I
It was
love the Yes
great.
movement. The
I
Yes
love
movement, I love it. I even if I want to go further back, I like the Team Hell No thing
yeah, yeah.
because Daniel Bryan was he was like he had his moments where he exploded when he was in Team Hell No. He was like running through everybody at ringside, and that was a
Yeah.
beautiful thing to see.
Just to prove he wasn't the weak link,
Exactly.
because he
So
was
that's what I'm
okay,
saying. He didn't want to be the weak. He said, "I'm not the weak link." So
Yeah.
he was like, "Okay, I'm going to slap the shit out of you because I'm not the weak link." So it had its moments. I'm not discrediting WWE whatsoever, but it's like they could have really stepped out of the box. WWE and AEW. AEW did a little bit better, but as
Mhm.
far as like I feel like some of the stuff they could have stepped out of the box with when it comes to this pandemic era.
Yeah.
And as we slowly get back to crowds getting into arenas, hopefully they don't stick to the format anymore. Just go with the flow.
Yeah. I agree.
If some people can cut some promos and really put some oomph into their characters, let them go. And some people actually need the scripted promos, continue to script them. Because we're not saying unscript everybody. Because everybody can't cut an unscripted promo. Let's just be real.
I totally agree. Some need mouthpieces. Some have to go off of scripts, and again, some don't need it. Let them go. Unleash them.
But
But we'll see. But I mean, again, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much is our thoughts and opinions on what we thought about Hell in a Cell. I guess, Josh, if you had to grade it,
I
what
give
would
it a
you give it?
5. I give it a 5. Overall, I would give it a 5 because Roman and Jay literally made it a 5. If Roman and Jay wasn't on that pay-per-view, it would have been a 0. It would have been. It would have been a
Five.
3. It would have been a 3. It would have been a 3 because of Sasha versus Bayley.
Okay.
But
So
other
that
than
is five the highest.
the
Is that
5
what
is the highest because of the overall quality of the entire pay-per-view. I'm rating off based off the overall quality because outside of the first 2 Hell in a Cell matches, everything else was just there.
Mm.
It was not. It was not something that I would watch all the way through. Luckily, WWE Network, they have bullet points to where you can choose where you want to watch. So I would suggest watching Roman versus Jay and then skipping all the way to Sasha versus Bayley
Yeah.
and then turn the pay-per-view off.
Literally.
Literally.
That's really it. I mean, I'd give it about a B.
I mean, if you want to laugh, you can watch Bobby versus. We didn't even talk about it. Bobby Lashley versus Slapjack, whatever his name is.
Yeah, which turned into a pretty much unit. So, okay, and a quick review on that. That was basically on the pre-show. Mustafa Ali issued a challenge to the to MVP specifically of the Hurt Business. You know, leader to leader, and it's like, yo, I propose that you choose a member of the Hurt Business to go against one of my members of Retribution in a match tonight. And so MVP later on in the show answers it and he says, all right, I'm with it. We could do that. Clearly, Bobby Lashley was the one dressed, so that's the guy they were going with. I kind of hoped it was Shelton, but I get it. It's Lashley. He's the champ. It made sense. All right, cool. Lashley is the one that chose. And then he says, hey, I got a proposition for you, Mustafa. How about we raise the stakes a little bit and let these two go, because they chose their member. They kind of went around and was like, they mentioned T Bar at first, and then it went from him to Slapnuts.
Well, they said they call T-bar T-ball, like T-ball, and they call and then they called Slapjack. I think they called him. I actually tweeted it because I laughed because it was hilarious. It was actually hilarious to me. So they called him T-ball and Flapjack.
Flapjack. You see what I'm saying? But they chose Slapjack, however you want to say it, people. Make your own jokes about it. They chose
I call him Slapnuts. That's because when he first was introduced, I said, did they just say Slapnuts? People try to correct me. I said, nah, I heard Slapnuts, and that's his name from now on.
There you go, man. So he ended up going against Bobby Lashley. He was the one that they chose.
As soon as he made that entrance, I laughed. I was like, bro, this dude is about to die.
He's the one that they chose to be a part of this. And then, of course, MVP was like, hey, you know what? Lashley's even willing to put the title on the line. And this is going to be mano a mano. No members of the Hurt Business, no members of Retribution, one-on-one. Now, you said he was about to get killed. Well, from what I saw, I don't know the time.
He did a little bumping. But other than that, it wasn't really. To me, I don't think Bobby should have bumped for him. I think he literally should have just locked in the Hurt Lock.
Yeah, it should have been a squash, to be completely honest. Now, I mean, I get it. Retribution, you want to take them serious. But, I mean, in this particular case, Lashley is the Hurt.
They got destroyed by the Fiend. I don't take them serious.
To the people who are supposed to be taken serious. We know they're not taken serious anymore after that debacle. But this is what's supposed to be from the jump. Something you're supposed to take.
I'm guessing in their own twisted way, they're probably building towards Mustafa Ali challenging for the United States Championship. Because so far he's tapped out 2 members of Retribution with the Hurt Lock.
He has. We'll see how this plays out. And if that's the case, I hope it just catapults Lashley in some kind of way to where they.
Because he was looking good as the U.S. champion. His entrance, his presentation so far, I'm like, bro, this dude is the title belt actually fits Bobby Lashley.
It does. It fits him. It looks real good on him. And so would a WWE championship at some point. But hey, I get it. We'll see.
We'll see. Other than that, the show, like I said, the show remains at a 5.
Yeah.
Because the mid card, the undercard could have easily been saved for Raw and SmackDown. I didn't really need it.
It was.
That's how basic it was.
No, I totally agree with that, and that's why I give it a B+ off of basically Sasha, Bayley, and of course Reigns and Uso. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, that's where the majority of that average comes from. Without those two matches, easily anything below C minus at that
Yeah,
point.
that's
Uh,
how
you know,
that's
so
how not solid the pay per view overall was. That's what I'm saying. If I had to do like a number rating, it'll be a 5. If I had to do a letter rating, it'll be a B
mm,
because of Roman versus Jay and Sasha and Bayley. And out if you had to take those two away, that would be a D.
yeah,
The pay per view
agreed.
would be a D. It would be a D. You were being generous with the C. It would be a D. That's
Correction. I did the plus minus, so
you
it's C
did the plus
minus.
minus. You did the
C
plus and minus. So
minus.
you was being extremely generous.
The C minus was a step above the D, but you
Yeah,
know, yeah,
exactly. I
I
went
give you
far. I
that.
went full D. Like don't watch it. D as in don't watch it.
As in,
Don't
watch it.
even waste your
Oh man.
time.
But
But other than
nonetheless,
that, brother, you want to sign us off?
well, before I do that, really quickly, we don't have to go down around the whole card, but I want to ask you your quick thoughts on another pay per view that went on the day before. This was a rare occasion where we have two companies with pay per views in one weekend. So we had a weekend of pay per views. Bound for Glory was on yesterday. Did you get a chance to catch it? Catch some
I'm actually going to
highlights
watch that tomorrow
and watch it
because I
tomorrow.
was
Okay.
I was streaming content on the exact same day on the YouTube channel. And but I know the results. You got our boy Rich Swan, the man down in Impact.
Yes, sir.
He's the man with the he's the world's heavyweight champion. And
Yes.
you actually have his real life wife, Sue
So
Young,
young. Yeah.
as the women's world champion. But is Kaylee Ray injured? Because I thought she was promoted for it.
You know that she was promoted for the match. Now, I don't know what the story is on it. I haven't heard anything. I'm assuming this is going to play into the storyline. I'm assuming because before Sue Young, she was her alter ego, her
She
nicer
was
ego.
Susie.
She was Susie. And so there were times where Susie was showing little stints of Sue Young where she was taking over. So I'm assuming Sue Young, since she's a demon, you know, the version of the Fiend for Impact, if you will, she probably took out Kylie Ray in some kind of way, and I think that's gonna set up a Kylie Ray versus Sue Young kind of deal, you know. And Kylie's gonna try to get Susie back by beating up Sue Young or something. Who knows? But now where Deanna Purrazzo fits in all of this, I don't know because she's gonna
Why
probably
do you
want to
think they took
rematch.
the title off
You know
of
what?
her?
That's a good question. Either it's she's not completely locked in with the company 100%.
They said she signed a long-term contract.
Okay, so if she signed along, yeah, I don't know because she was actually pretty good as champion so far. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know what would make them take it off of her that soon because it wasn't that long ago when she won it from Jordan Grace. So I don't know. Maybe they're just looking at it as, you know, I guess because her and Kimberly are kind of like a little tandem. They did officially bring back, to those who don't know, they officially brought back the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. So yeah, once again, in WWE, Impact has found a way
Oh
to.
yeah, Impact. Honestly, if I had to rank the women's division, it'll be Impact, NXT,
Mhm.
main roster,
And then
anybody
AEW.
else, then AEW.
Oh, so you said anybody else before AEW. So AEW still not getting your attention with the women
Nope,
right now, huh?
nope,
Not with the big swolls, the big
nope,
Britt Bakers,
nope,
Nyla
nope,
Rose. Well, I haven't seen Nyla Rose in a while.
nope,
So yeah, it's
nope.
gosh, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. But I feel it. I mean, I get it, man. They're
No,
not they're not
they
serving.
all the way down there. I mean, all the way. That's
And you know,
how
it's
uninterested
partially
I am in it,
the majority of them are on dark right now.
and that's the
It's,
problem.
and
Because and I see why they're on dark. Because if you look at them, not all of them are solid.
yeah, no, this is true. Not all of them are. But the ones that are, it's still no stories being told. There's nothing. I mean, the Britt Baker and Big Swole feud was pretty cool in terms of what they were doing with that, but then it just ended on a sour note to a
With that
degree.
tooth and nail match, which was meh.
Yeah, it kind of just the way it ended was kind of like, dang, you know, because those two could have solidified that. and kind of been like the pillars to kind of build it up. But we're still waiting. So I agree. Who knows, man? We'll see. I mean, it's year two, so let's
Oh
see.
yeah, we out the cupcake phase. I tell people this on the podcast, on Grush Unleashed, as well as everywhere else. We out the cupcake phase. We out of honeymoon phase. We in 2 years.
Ooh,
I will be extremely brutal, 100%. I was giving them leeway because of them being in a new year. It was a new company. But
mhm.
yo, we 2 years in, bro. Let's get it right.
Time to crank it up.
Time to crank it up. Time to sign some big names to the women's division because I literally will not consider AEW my top five women's division.
You
And there's
know,
a lot of women's division. You got Stardom. You got
mhm,
you got all these other international women's divisions. Their women's division is better, in my opinion, than
yeah,
AEW right now. So I will, and that's not me being shooting for just me just saying it suck. It's
yeah.
just all these other companies are better
I
as
totally
far as
agree.
because they don't have character. They need to give these women character. Outside of Britt Baker, the only one that has caught my attention was Britt Baker when she returned from injury, is because of
Yeah,
the way they've been building her character.
and I have to agree with that because I didn't really care for Britt Baker at first, but when she made that heel turn, it was like, okay, you know what? Now she's starting to look pretty cool to me, and she's been running with it. The problem is she needs her other half, her babyface rival, to help kind of build the pillar, set the standard so other women can fall and say,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
but like I said, Big Swole had that potential with it, and she still got a lot of potential. I love Big Swole. I'm just saying again, that match they had to close that feud didn't quite live up to how the rest of the
It was literally a watered down cinematic match.
yeah, it didn't really go the way it should have went. And so because of that, we're still just waiting for that big Trish Lita rivalry or Victoria Trish rivalry
Something
or
to
Mickey
dig her
James
teeth into.
Trish.
Because let's be honest with
Yeah.
you, the reason why a lot of people, I'm just gonna be honest with you, the reason why a lot of people saying, oh, they don't really, why we only getting one women's match on there. A lot of these women aren't ready for TV.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not ready for TV. Let's just be honest with you. And every time they put someone on there
Hmm.
that's not ready, you can tell with this last Britt Baker match, the opponent that she had was not ready for TV. Britt
No.
was okay to improving, but her opponent was stiff. As far as like, if she would have,
Was that
honestly, it was
Red
a few
Velvet?
times where I thought she was literally about to knock Britt out, and that was not a good knockout, like a legit fuck up knockout.
Was that my girl Red Velvet?
No, it was
Okay.
some Kylan or Kylan something.
Okay. Okay. Because I like Red Velvet. Little Red Velvet
No, no,
turns
no.
me
Red
on.
Velvet, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, little Red Velvet, man. She still got a lot of growing to do, but she's gonna be something. She's got a little something to her swag there. She's
Yeah,
gonna
that
be
was 2 weeks ago. But this
yeah,
week, but yeah, this week, yeah, that was
someone else.
Kaylin or Kylan or something like that. Other than
Oh,
that,
I do
it's
remember seeing that. Yes.
so
Okay.
yeah, like I said,
Anna Jay is nice though.
they're
Dark
she's
Order.
growing.
She's growing. I
She's
like Anna
growing.
Jay. I really do. I think she's and people forget how young she actually is. So
She's
she's
actually
got
younger than me. I'm
yeah,
26.
yeah.
She's
She's
actually, I believe,
22,
2,
23, somewhere
22,
around there.
22, 23. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's
And I
got
believe
potential.
I believe she's from here, from Georgia.
See, much like my girl Danny Jordan. I know she's been on Dark a few times. And she'll rise up the ranks pretty soon herself. But I know she's still kind of getting her feet wet with everything too. But like I said, they got potential. But we just got to see it, man. We got to see it. So AEW got to keep working on it. It's year two. If it takes a big name to get the ball rolling, then
Honestly, so some people might not like to hear this, but Tessa Blanchard. They may have to try to cop Tessa Blanchard. Some people might not
they
like it
might.
because of the whole racism thing.
They might. Now WWE, I keep hearing, is the one in
They
heavy
might get her
contact
too.
with her.
Somebody,
So
I'm
if she
trying to tell
comes
you,
to WWE right now, given the state of their division, that's going to be a major grab.
oh yeah, if she goes
Major
straight to the main roster,
Yeah, because that's going to boost all types of scenarios. Tessa versus Bayley, Tessa versus Sasha, Tessa versus Charlotte, Tessa versus Becky. Assuming Becky, because she'll come back at some point. It's so much Tessa and Oscar. Like it's a lot of different scenarios that you can put in that thing, man. So, and Bianca, can't forget that either. So, if she comes, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that was pretty much it, man. So I guess when you check out Impact some more on Bound for Glory, I know you know the results. So maybe a separate episode, a little bonus episode. We'll give our honest thoughts and opinions on what we thought about Bound for Glory 2020. And in the meantime, we like to thank all of y'all for taking the time to hang out with us right
For
here
two
on Life's a
hours.
Botch. Yeah, man.
We
It
gave you
wasn't
a
supposed
2 hour
we
special.
gave you a 2 hour special, and it wasn't even supposed to go that long. But that's just how me and my oos do sometimes, man. We get those the side conversation is what made this lengthy, not the pay-per-view. Trust me.
Trust me.
It wasn't the pay-per-view.
If we would have stuck to the script, we would have been done in 30.
Would have been done in 30, hands down. No problem. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, you already know it's your boy, the Prince of Botch. You already know Dwayne in the building. I'm gonna pass this over to my oos and let my oos tell y'all where to find him and, of course, where to subscribe to his content.
Oh yeah. You can follow your boy at. You can actually just click on one link, joshuagresham.org. Simple, JOSHUAGRESHAM.org. I have two separate conversations. I've been revamping the website. You have two options. You can click on the podcast, which is Gresham Unleashed, on your left side. If you are interested in any gaming content which is similarly and funny, wrestling related, you can click on the right side, which it says simply Gresh on, and it will direct you to my gaming content, or it will direct you to the podcast, whichever one you decide to click on. But if you feel like avoiding all that, you can find me at Josh Gresham ORG. That is JOSHGRESHAM on Twitter and Instagram, or you can follow Gresh Unleashed on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, you already know. And of course, you guys already know it's your boy Dwayne. So you can definitely, first and foremost, I like to say, what's up to the OTS fam? You already know this is where we are broadcasted live right here on the Sidelines YouTube page. So if you're watching us live on YouTube, first and foremost, again, thank you for hanging with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can follow all things from Life's a Botch right here on this very page, along with some of our side shows, such as Past the Ox, Perennial Powerhouse Podcast, which is college football. So for you college football lovers out there, we got the Sideline Guys for you sports lovers, NFL, NBA, MLB, all that good stuff, and so much more. Past the Ox for my music lovers out there. We got a lot of content. We're always dropping something every day, if not every other day, for you guys and your guys' pleasure. Also, just check out the website, man, www.otsguys.com. Follow your boy on Instagram at Dwayne Dickey Jr. That is on Instagram. That is my personal host page. You can also follow Life's a Botch Podcast on Instagram as well, where you can catch up with the interviews in the past that your boy's been able to do. Make sure you check us out. All of the interviews are right here on YouTube. They are also in audio format on all the major podcast platforms. So go ahead and check that out. We got more interviews coming in the future. In the meantime, more review shows and anything else that I can come up with, man, for you guys right here on Life's a Botch. We are going to do it all the time, every single time. So again, we thank you so much for joining us right here on the Hell in a Cell 2020 review. And we are signing